Lipscomb Bison's baseball is on the air. Good evening, everyone. This is Doc Allen coming to you live from beautiful Ken Dugan Field at Stephen Lee Marsh Stadium on the campus of Lipscomb University in Nashville, Tennessee, as we get set to bring you college baseball action between the Bellarmine University Knights and the homestanding Lipscomb Bisons. Tonight is game one of a three-game series between these two teams. They meet for a single game tonight, a single game on Saturday, and the rubber game on Sunday as the teams winding down ASUN Conference action play. The visiting Knights from Bellarmine University, part of the ASUN, and they enter today's contest with a season record of 10 wins and 33 losses. They are 7-14 in conference play on the season. The Bisons, also from the ASUN, have a season record of 26 wins and 18 losses. They are 13-8 in ASUN play. Bison's first action since last Sunday when they hosted Central Arkansas. They took 2 of 3 games in that series and won the Sunday affair in a back-and-forth game that saw the Bisons prevail 8-6. No midweek game this week for the Bisons as they were completing final exams. So they'll be playing after the first time all season with no midweek action. Let's take a look at today's starting lineups. First, for the visiting Knights from Bellarmine University, leading off, left fielder, number 6, Matt Higgins. Batting second, doing the catching, number 42, Ashton Smith. Batting third, right fielder, number 18, Jacob Mulkey. Batting fourth, first baseman, number 50, Davis Crane. Batting fifth, shortstop, number 7, Clayton Mulbauer. Batting sixth, third baseman, number 20, Peyton Back. Batting seventh, center fielder, number 1, Jack Ackerman. Batting eighth, designated hitter, number 17, Gabe Bratetic. And batting ninth, second baseman, number 8, Colin Birch. Getting the start on the mound for Bellarmine tonight will be the junior right-hander, number 28, Drew Burr. Comes in with a season record of no wins and 3 losses and an ERA of 5.10. Head coach for the Knights is Larry Owens. He's in his 9th season. He's assisted by Nick Eversole and Chris Dominguez, as well as Cody Williams. And now let's take a look at the starting lineup for the homestanding Lipscomb Bisons. Leading off, shortstop, number 8, Caleb Ketchup. Batting second, center fielder, number 19, Maddox Houghton. Batting third, designated hitter, number 35, Mason Lundgren. Batting fourth, first baseman, number 44, Malik Williams. Batting fifth, left fielder, number 13, Rudy Maxwell. Batting sixth, third baseman, number 30, Trace Wilhoit. Batting seventh, right fielder, number 21, John Shields. Batting eighth, second baseman, number 23, Ethan Stamps. And batting ninth, doing the catching, will be number 1, Chaz Bertolani. Getting the start on the mound for the Bisons will be the sophomore left-hander, number 34, Michael Dunkelberger. He comes in with a season record of 6 wins and 2 losses, an ERA of 2.47 on the season. The head coach for the Bisons is Jeff Forehand. He's in his 16th season as head coach. He's assisted by pitching coach Matt Myers, hitting coach Ryan Price, director of baseball operations Brian Ryman, volunteer assistant Will Hawks, the director of player development Adam Wise, director of baseball analytics Ryan Moretti, and the assistant director of baseball operations Madeline Hoswell. The Bison's head groundskeeper is Colby Rawls, and the head baseball athletic trainer is Clint Woods. Our umpires for today's game, Creel Waddell will be behind the plate, Eric Gaucher over at first base, and Manny Gonzalez will be at third base. Weather right now, it's been a bit of an iffy day. Lots of rain in the area throughout the day in Nashville. The tarp was on until about 40 minutes ago. This game originally was scheduled for a 6 p.m. Central Time start, and if you tuned in then and wondered why you didn't get a broadcast, it's because we were still experiencing some rain at that time. The tarp is off now, so the infield in good shape. There is some standing water down the first and third base lines. Current temperature is 65 degrees. The winds are out of the west at 14 miles an hour, so they'll be blowing out hard towards left field, something we'll keep an eye on through the game tonight. There is still a chance of some additional rain in the area, but these two teams will try to get this game in tonight if they can. Lights are obviously on here at Dugan Field. So as we mentioned, steady rain throughout much of the day. I expect that the outfield still's got a lot of slick spots in it. Standing water further out along the left field and right field lines in foul territory, but the infield and certainly a few feet behind the infield were covered with the tarp throughout of the rain, and so they should be in good shape, as will home plate and the mound. Colby Rawls and his staff of groundskeepers always do a terrific job. One of the best draining and best playing fields that you'll find anywhere in college baseball. And so very little evidence of the heavy rain that we've had all day on the field at this time. Bisons are taking the field, and they've got a few junior Bisons joining them for this. And as they do take the field, we're going to step aside with them so that we can enjoy together our nation's national anthem. Our national anthem is in the books. I believe I heard those are the Creve Hall 12-year-old Padres that are out on the field with the Bisons tonight, enjoying the national anthem as we move our way towards our first pitch. And earlier today, we had a chance to visit with Lipscomb head coach Jeff Forehand to get his thoughts on today's game.
Coach Forehand, this first time all season you haven't had a midweek game, so about a 5-day layoff since the last action for the Bisons. Any adjustments you have to make with that kind of change in schedule?
I think sometimes, you know, with exam week, we purposely didn't schedule a game just because of that. But, you know, you do get concerned as the coach when you typically play on Tuesday and you stay sharp and, you know, and then they have exams and then we've got an hour delay. So there are some concerns in that, but hopefully we just jump right into it and get right back into action.
Bellarmine's a team that struggles some this season. But last weekend they hosted Eastern Kentucky, one of the top teams in our division. 2 of those 3 games went to extra innings. So you get the feeling that Bellarmine is putting it together, playing a little bit better baseball here late in the season.
You know, I really think so. Talking to their coach, you know, just he said they played pretty good last weekend, had the opportunity to actually get 2 games and didn't do it. But, you know, I do think they're playing better. I do think that they're a better team than what their record has shown. But I really think, you know, the last couple of weeks they've been really playing well. So we'll have our hands full tonight.
Good luck to you, Coach.
Thanks a lot.
That's the Bison's head coach Jeff Forehand with his preview of tonight's game. And also prior to the game tonight, very special night for the Bisons, the awarding of the 2022 Ken Dugan Award. It's the highest award in the baseball program, given to the student athlete who most demonstrates the ideals of outstanding effort, passion for the game, Christian character, and overall respect for the program. And the Bisons' fine senior center fielder, Maddox Houghton, was selected as the winner of the 2022 Ken Dugan Award, which was presented tonight by some of the members of Coach Dugan's family out on the field prior to when our broadcast began. So congratulations to Maddox Houghton. On the hill tonight for the Bisons, as we mentioned, sophomore Michael Dunkelberger. Dunkelberger, a 6-foot-tall, 215-pounder out of South Bend, Indiana. He is making his 12th appearance and 10th start on the season. He comes in having thrown 54 2/3 innings, given up 51 hits, 17 runs, of which 15 have been earned, 12 walks and 46 strikeouts on the season. Opponents batting just .250 against Michael Dunkelberger. So a season record of 6 wins and 2 losses, ERA of 2.47. Those 6 wins are, in fact, leading the Atlantic Sun Conference, and he's 4th best ERA in the conference with that 2.47. So Dunkelberger on the hill for the Bisons tonight, and he'll be facing this Bellarmine lineup that comes in hitting .269 as a team, but the first guy to stand in there, Matt Higgins, is the top hitter for the Knights, batting .373 on the season, 19 home runs and 54 RBIs for Matt Higgins. And he bats in the leadoff spot tonight, and we'll await the first pitch from Dunkelberger. And it's hit off the fist, slow roller towards second. It's going to be gloved by Ketchup, double clutches and throws to first, and he'll retire him on one pitch and one out. So Higgins is retired, and that'll bring up Ashton Smith, the sophomore catcher. Smith leads the team in average with a .381 batting average, no homers and 11 RBIs. As we mentioned, he'll be behind the plate tonight. The Knights do have 3 left-handed bats in the lineup against the left-hander Dunkelberger. Smith hitting from the right side. Bison's playing him straight away. We'll set the defense in a moment. First pitch is missing downstairs for ball 1. So defensively for the Bisons, Rudy Maxwell in left, Maddox Houghton in center, John Shields in right, Trace Wilhoit at third, Caleb Ketchup at shortstop, Ethan Stamps at second, Malik Williams at first, and Chaz Bertolani behind the plate. That's a fastball right through there. 1 ball, 1 strike. So you'll see Dunkelberger come at hitters with a fastball that he works to both sides of the plate, likes to work inside to both left-handed and right-handed hitters. Also show a curveball and a changeup, and he's been very, very effective. We mentioned that strikeout to walk ratio that he's shown this season. That's an off-speed pitch hit foul to the right side. Bertolani gives chase, but it'll land on top of the first base dugout. And the count will be 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ashton Smith. It'll be Higgins, Smith, and Mulkey here in the top half of the first inning for the Knights, as we're playing baseball here at Dugan Field and Lipscomb University in Nashville, Tennessee. If you're in the area, we invite you to come on out and join us. We think most of the rain has moved out. Should be a very pleasant evening at the ballpark. Here comes the 1-2, swung on and hit towards the right side. It's going to be gloved by Malik Williams, and he will retire Smith 3 unassisted for the second out of the inning. So that'll bring up Jacob Mulkey. He's the right fielder, and the senior batting .301. 7 homers and 27 RBI. So he's second on the team with those 7 home runs. The first 3 hitters in the lineup for the Knights all batting over 300. As again, this is a lineup that has put together some very good at-bats here recently. Fastball is going to miss outside for ball 1. We mentioned in our interview with Coach Forehand that the Knights played 3 tight ball games with Eastern Kentucky last weekend, losing 2 of those in extra innings. And there's the fastball on the inside corner for a ball and a strike to Mulkey. The Bisons, meanwhile, took 2 out of 3 from Central Arkansas last weekend. And, in fact, come in having won 7 out of their last 10 games. So the Bisons have really been playing well. That's a slice foul on a fastball that was outside. It'll be a ball and 2 strikes. We do only have 1 camera to bring to you tonight, so we'll give you a little bit more of a radio play-by-play style so that you can follow the action. So apologize for what might sound like a little bit more like a radio broadcast, but with the 1 camera angle, we want to make sure that you have a chance to follow the action here. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases empty, top of the first. And Dunkelberger set to come to Mulkey. Swung on and hit into right field for a base hit. Nice piece of 2-strike hitting there by Jacob Mulkey as he went the other way on that outside fastball. And he'll record the first hit of the game for the Knights, and he'll be aboard with 2 outs, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Davis Crane. Crane comes in batting .289 on the season, 3 homers and 17 RBIs. He is the sophomore first baseman. Mulkey not much of a threat to run. He's 3 for 3 on the season in stolen bases. The Knights as a team are 45 out of 55 on the season. And he starts him off with an outside fastball, sliced towards left field. Maxwell going back, still going back, and he gloves it just a step or 2 shy of the warning track in left center field. So Crane hit that well to the opposite field, but he will be retired for the 3rd out of the inning. So the Knights strand 1. They have 1 hit in the inning but don't score. We head to the bottom half of the first. No score between Bellarmine and Lipscomb. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the home half of the first inning. It'll be Ketchup, Houghton, and Lundgren to face the junior right-hander Drew Burr, a 6'1", 190-pounder out of Austin, Indiana. Previously played at St. Louis University. And Burr has so far made 12 appearances on the season. He started 7 times, worked 47 2/3 innings, given up 51 hits, 34 runs, 27 of which are earned, 27 walks against 37 strikeouts, opponents batting .277, no wins, 3 losses, and a 5.10 ERA. And Caleb Ketchup will start things off for the Bisons. Caleb comes in batting .262 on the season, 4 homers and 16 RBIs. And he's behind 0-1. That's a fastball that'll miss downstairs, and the count will even up at a ball and a strike to Ketchup. Ketchup's really been playing well of late for the Bison, solidified his hold on that leadoff spot. Had a home run last weekend in the Eastern Kentucky series. There's a breaking ball in there for a strike, and the count will be 1 ball and 2 strikes on Caleb Ketchup. So Ketchup has inserted himself in that leadoff spot and done a lot of good things when he gets on base. 22 out of 23 in steals on the season. He takes a pitch high there for ball 2, so it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. We'll give you the defensive alignment in a moment. They're in a pretty traditional alignment here, not much of a shift for Ketchup. Here's the 2-2, swung on and hit foul and out of play on the right side. That'll get out over the Knights bullpen. So defensively, Higgins is in left, Ackerman in center, Mulkey in right, back at third base, Melbauer at shortstop, Birch at second base, Crane at first, Smith behind the plate, and junior right-hander Drew Burr on the mound for the Knights. It's a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Caleb Ketchup as we play here in the bottom half of the first inning. And Ketchup feels like Burr was taking a little too much time, so he'll ask for time and receive it, step out of there, and we'll get set to do this all again. That's fastball is going to miss down and away, and Ketchup has worked the count full now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Lots of action going on. All the other ASUN Conference teams in action this weekend. We'll be catching you up on scores throughout the night. Here comes first the payoff to Ketchup. It's a breaking ball hammered towards third. Bounces off the chest of back. He picks it up, throws to first, and they're going to say not in time. Big stretch there from Crane. But as we mentioned, Ketchup runs really well. That ball was hit down the line and back plated off of his chest. Picked it up as quickly as he could. Made a good strong throw to first. But again, Ketchup runs well, and he got down the line, and that will be scored a base hit. And the Bisons have their leadoff man aboard for, as we mentioned, the Ken Dugan Award winner, Maddox Houghton, the fine senior center fielder. He's seen his average get all the way up now to .303, 4 homers and 20 RBIs on the season. And Houghton leads the team with 40 runs scored as well. He's been hitting in that 2-hole most of the season. Throw's going to go to first because they are certainly familiar with Ketchup and his propensity to run here. So we'll see how the Bisons elect to play it. Houghton also an excellent bunter. The third baseman back is a step or two behind the bag at third. Long hold here. Again, the throw will go to first. And Ketchup will get back. And even with the tarp on, I would think that there's been a lot of moisture this week in the last couple of days in Nashville, so the track may be a little bit slower than normal on the infield. Grounds crew will tell you they love to get that water on there. The base stealers like that hard, firm dirt, so we do have a little bit of rain that's started to fall again here right now. It's falling lightly at the moment. And Ketchup bluffs and doesn't go. Great bunt by Houghton. It's past the mound. It's going to be picked up by back. He won't have a play, and that's a base hit. Terrific bunt by Maddox Houghton. Great positioning on the bunt. Put it past the mound. Back came in. As I mentioned, he was playing behind the bag, which is a little unusual when someone who bunts as often as Maddox Houghton does, and so he had to come in and barehand it. And the Bisons have their first 2 base runners aboard, and that'll bring up designated hitter Mason Lundgren. Lundgren comes in batting .306 on the season, 2 home runs, 29 RBIs. He is one of 2 left-handed bats in the lineup for the Bisons tonight against the right-hander Drew Burr. And the Bisons don't have a ball that's left the infield yet, but they have 2 base hits and 2 runners on with nobody out for Lundgren. So we'll see how they like to defend it here. They got a bit of a shift on. Shortstop Melbauer's pulled over toward the bag. He's helping to hold Ketchup near the bag. Third baseman back is even with the bag, a couple steps inside the line. He's not bunting, and he takes a fastball outside and high for ball one. Lundgren really handles the bat well, and in fact, a lot of his base hits tend to go to the opposite field, so he's got a big hole over there to work through. Second baseman Birch is also pulled up the middle, so there's a big hole on both the left and the right sides. That's a fastball. It's going to get off the glove of Smith, and the runners will both advance 90 feet. I don't know if they'll score that as a wild pitch or a pass ball. It was certainly an elevated fastball, but it just looked like that Smith was a little slow up to it, and it kicked off the top of his glove. That is going to be scored a wild pitch. So the Bisons now have runners at second and third. Nobody out. And Mason Lundgren up there trying to add to 29 RBIs that he has on the season. Defense will go back to a fairly standard alignment. The shift is off. He takes a fastball high. They asked if he went. Third base umpire Manny Gonzalez said he did not. So Lundgren now sitting on a 3-0 count. We'll see if Coach Forehand turns him loose here or if he tries to take a pitch to see if the Bisons can do further damage. Playing again in the bottom of the first inning. No score between Bellarmine and Lipscomb. First game of a 3-game A-Sun series between these two teams. The 3-0 is inside fastball. Took something off of it and caught the corner. 3 balls and 1 strike. Malik Williams waits on deck for the Bisons. Again, rain's falling now. It looks to be falling a little bit harder than it was before. And that's sort of what we've expected tonight, that we're going to see some showers off and on. Here comes the 3-1. Breaking ball hit in the air towards left center field. This will be deep enough to get the run home. Still going back is Higgins. Still going back. He looks up and he gloves it. The throw will come into third. And Mason Lundgren is going to drive in the first run of the game as Caleb Ketchup comes in, and it's 1-0 Lipscomb. So that's an RBI for Mason Lundgren, and the Bisons jump out to a 1-0 lead. And that's exactly what you want in that situation. He got a fastball that he elevated on that 3-1 count. We mentioned that he often goes the other way, and he did so there. And so Ketchup scores. Maddox Houghton will advance over to third base, and Malik Williams, the first baseman for the Bisons, will stand in there. Leading hitter for the Bisons, .365 average, 8 home runs, 45 RBIs. Those 45 RBIs lead the club. He also has 62 base hits on the season, which leads the club. Infield's coming in, and he'll take what looks like a slider through there for a strike, 0-1. So kind of interesting to see the infield coming in here in the bottom of the first inning, but again, with rain in the forecast, you never know how long this game may last, and so Coach Owens electing to bring his infield in against Malik Williams. He looks at another one through there, strike 2, same pitch, and he took it, and he's quickly in the hole, no balls and 2 strikes. Shortstop Melbauer's pulled over way into the hole, so there's a big gap up the middle of the field. Here's the 0-2, and he swings through an elevated fastball, and that's strike 3. So second out of the inning as Malik Williams goes down on strikes, and that'll bring up Rudy Maxwell now with 2 outs and a runner at third. Maxwell batting .281 on the season, 6 home runs and 33 runs driven in. Grad student transfer from Duke University. He's come in and had an outstanding season here for the Bisons, playing his final year of college baseball. So Houghton, your runner at third. Good speed there, and he swings and hammers this towards third on the first pitch. Back gloves it. He'll throw on to first, and they will retire Maxwell for the third out of the inning. But the Bisons jump in front, courtesy of 2 hits. They score the 1 run. They do strand 1 runner on base. And at the end of 1 inning, our new score, Lipscomb 1 and Bellarmine 0. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the top of the second inning. It'll be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters for the Knights. That's Melbauer, Beck, and Ackerman to face Michael Dunkelberger. Again, rain still coming down. It's kind of coming down sort of sideways with that westerly wind blowing. And we expect, based on radar, that it looks like that rain might be blowing for another 20 or 30 minutes here. He starts him off with a fastball on the outside corner, and that is strike one. Melbauer, senior shortstop. He's batting .241 on the season, 4 home runs and 18 RBIs. Shift on for the Bison. Second baseman Stamps playing over on the third base side of second. Tries to come inside with a fastball and will miss high. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Williams, the only defender on the right side there, with the heavy shift on to the pull side there for Clayton Melbauer. The 1-1 swung on and hit towards third base. Wilhoit jumps up, grabs it, throws on to first, and they'll retire Melbauer for the first out of the inning. So that'll bring up the third baseman, Peyton Back. Back, a junior, batting .265 on the season, 5 home runs and 17 RBIs. As a team, the Knights have hit 43 home runs on the season. Bisons have hit 45. So Bellarmine is in the upper half of the conference in a number of these offensive categories. And this is hit high in the air down the right field line. Shields drifting over to the line, still coming over, and catches it a couple steps inside the line for the second out of the inning. So Back hit that one well, but it was down the right field line and it hung up long enough for Shields to get a glove on it. So that's 2 quick outs for Dunkelberger here, and that'll bring up the center fielder Jack Ackerman. Ackerman, the senior, batting .268 on the season, no home runs and 10 RBIs. Again, one of those 3 left-handed bats in the lineup. And Dunkelberger's going to start him off with a fastball that'll miss outside. Actually, he did get the call there. That was called a strike, so 0-1 on Ackerman. Heavy shift on for him. Second baseman Stamps pulled way over in the right field, a couple steps behind the grass. Here comes the 0-1 from Dunkelberger. Swung on and hit foul and out of play, and he gets ahead of Ackerman quickly. No balls and 2 strikes. The designated hitter, Bratetic, waits on deck. If Ackerman can extend the inning here after the first 2 quick outs, we're playing in the top of the second. Lipscomb is leading Bellarmine 1-0. And the 0-2 swung on and hit foul and out of play. That looked like he ran a fastball in on his hands, and the count will remain 0-2. Again, Dunkelberger likes to bring that fastball in. He'll bring it into both left-handers and right-handers, use the inside half of the plate, and that's very tough on these left-handed hitters. First pitch he worked outside, so we've seen him working both sides of the plate even in this at-bat. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases empty. And Dunkelberger gets set. That's a breaking ball hit in the air to center field. Drifting over is Houghton. Still coming over. He's going to get called off by the left fielder, Rudy Maxwell, as the wind held that one up, but it will nonetheless be the 3rd out of the inning. So nothing doing for the Knights in the top half of the second. No runs, hits, or errors. We head to the bottom half of the second, and your score remains Lipscomb 1 and Bellarmine 0. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We're headed to the home half of the second inning. It will be 6, 7, and 8. Wilhoit, Shields, and Stamps to face the right-hander Drew Burr. He surrendered 2 hits, and the Bisons put 1 run on the board, but he was able to get a strike out of Malik Williams and a ground out of Rudy Maxwell to hold the threat and just give up the 1 run. So a good job pitching out of a jam. And Trace Wilhoit will start things off for the Bisons. The freshman Third baseman batting .233 on the season, but he leads the team with 9 home runs and 27 RBIs. So Will Hoyt will get things started here with Shields and Stamps to follow. And Burr starts him off with a fastball low and away for strike one. Burr's a two-way player. He's actually had a number of games where he's played either second base or designated hitter for the Bellarmine Knights this year, so a rarity in college baseball seeing a two-way player. There's another strike on the outside corner, and quickly he's ahead of Will Hoyt. No balls and 2 strikes. So Burr, a two-way threat. He's had more action on the mound than he has in the field. As we mentioned, this being his 13th appearance on the season. That's another strike three. 3 beautiful pitches in a row from Will Hoyt, or correction, from Burr, and he gets Will Hoyt looking for the first out of the inning. Second strikeout on the day for Drew Burr, and that'll bring up John Shields. Shields getting the start in right field tonight, batting .264 on the season, 4 home runs and 17 RBIs. And he'll face off against Drew Burr. Burr's had 2 outings this season that have gone 7 innings. One of them was against Kentucky way back on February 23rd. That's a strike through there, no balls, 1 strike. In that game, he gave up only 1 hit in 7 innings, walked 2 and struck out 3, didn't allow a run. So an outstanding start against the Kentucky Wildcats back on February 23rd. He did not get the decision. Swung on and tapped foul, and again, he's ahead 0-2 to Shields. His other start of 7 innings was actually his last start against Eastern Kentucky back on April 29th. So last Friday, he went 7 innings. He gave up 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, walked 2, but had a new career high at 10 strikeouts. So Drew Burr coming off one of his best performances of the season and heavy on the strikeouts. Fastball just inside. Great place there for that pitch. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Shields as Stamps waits on deck. So again, Burr's only gone 7 innings twice. He's had some other starts that have been a lot shorter, but he's coming off an outstanding appearance. That fastball is going to miss low and in, and it'll be 2 balls and 2 strikes on John Shields. As we mentioned, Burr's out of Austin, Indiana. Also played at St. Louis University. Last played for the Billikens back in 2020. Was on the A10 Commissioner's Honor Roll. Was also on the A-Sun Honor Roll last year. So an excellent student is Drew Burr. Gets a swing and a miss there of a breaking pitch, and that's going to be 2 strikeouts back-to-back. And 3 strikeouts overall for Drew Burr. And so Ethan Stamps will come and try his hand. Stamps playing second tonight, batting .248 on the season, 4 home runs and 16 RBIs. So he'll bat with 2 outs and the bases empty. Bottom of the second inning, Lipscomb leading Bellarmine 1-0. And Burr starts him with a fastball that'll miss downstairs, and that'll be a ball and no strikes. Burr really likes to work quickly. There won't be any need for a pitch clock with him here tonight as he's keeping the pace moving. And he gets him to swing through a fastball there, and it'll be a ball and a strike on that elevated fastball. Looks like the rain has slacked off a little bit here as I see a few umbrellas going down, but a heavy cloud cover moving in. And as I mentioned, the radar shows that we're at risk for some showers for about another 20 minutes. That's a pitch that's on the extended outside corner, but he gets the call, and it'll be a ball and 2 strikes. So 1 ball, 2 strikes on Ethan Stamps. Bertolani would be next if Stamps can extend the inning here for the Bisons. The 1-2, and that's going to miss downstairs at the count of ball, even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. These two teams played a 3-game series at Bellarmine back at the 1st of April, April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. The Bisons won all 3. The first one, though, was a 3-2 affair, then 13-3 and 12-4. And Mr. Burr has just struck out the side as he gets Ethan Stamps to swing through that off-speed pitch. So nothing doing at all for the Bisons, and a great inning for Drew Burr. We've played 2 full innings. Your score, Lipscomb 1 and Bellarmine 0. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the top of the third inning, moving right along here. The Bisons lead Bellarmine 1-0, and Michael Dunkelberger's back out on the mound. He'll face 8-9-1 for the Bellarmine Knights. That'll be Bretetic, Birch, and back to the top of the order, Higgins. Dunkelberger's allowed just one hit so far. That was back in the first inning. He retired the Knights in order in the second. So Bretetic comes in. He's a designated hitter tonight. Junior batting .246, 3 home runs and 14 RBIs on the season. Shift is on with Stamps pulled over to the third base side of second, and he starts him off with that inside fastball, and it'll be no balls and 1 strike. So we mentioned Dunkelberger from South Bend, Indiana, previously played at Kalamazoo Valley Community College. This is his first season at Lipscomb. Started a total of 9 games over 2 seasons at Kalamazoo Valley, and he's come in and solidified himself as the Friday night starter for the Bisons. That's a fastball that'll miss high, 1 ball, 1 strike. In those 9 starts, he had a 6-1 record, and ERA of 3.24, was a junior college All-American. And we mentioned he leads the ASUN with those 6 victories. There's a fastball in the inside corner, great location there, and that'll make the count a ball and 2 strikes on Bretetic. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, base is empty, nobody out, and he pulls the string on a beautiful breaking ball there. And he'll get Bretetic out for the first out of the inning. That'll be the first strikeout of the night for Dunkelberger. And that'll bring up second baseman Colin Birch. Birch batting .264, no home runs and 11 RBIs on the season, playing at second base. Dunkelberger starts him off with an off-speed pitch that'll stay outside for ball 1. So we mentioned the Knights, 10 wins, 33 losses on the season, but they've played some close ball games to some good opponents. Their very first game of the season, back on February 18th, they lost 1-0 to a team that was ranked 5th in the country at the time, Virginia. The 1-0 pitch is that inside fastball for a strike. Then we mentioned that game in Kentucky, or at Kentucky, that they lost 3-2. That was the game that Drew Burr went 7 strong innings for them on the mound. They've also played Tennessee and played Kentucky again. That's it on the ground to the right side. Ethan Stamps is going to glove, and he's going to throw over to first. Once again, Dunkelberger has 2 quick outs in the top of the third. Takes us back to the top of the order, and Matt Higgins. Higgins hit the first pitch he saw on the ground to second base back in the first inning. And he'll see his average now be .371 on the season, will Matt Higgins. He comes in on a 17-game hitting streak for the Bellarmine Knights. He's set the single season record for home runs with those 19 home runs, as that's a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. He now has also the Bellarmine record for career homers. He's got 42, and career lead in RBIs 178. So a prolific offensive performance, but he taps this one slowly towards first base. Malik Williams will glove it, and he'll beat him to the bag. And Dunkelberger has another 1-2-3 inning as he sets the Knights down here in the third. Nothing doing for Bellarmine. We head to the bottom half of the third. Your score remains Lipscomb 1 and Bellarmine nothing. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the bottom half of the third inning. Lipscomb will send Chaz Bertolani and Caleb Ketchup and Maddox Houghton out to face Drew Burr. Burr struck out the side in the second inning. One by route of a called strikeout and 2 swinging strikeouts. So he's got 4 strikeouts through 2 innings and given up just 1 hit and the 1 run. And Bertolani will start things off for the Bisons. Comes in batting .202 on the season, 1 homer and 10 RBIs for the Bisons junior catcher Chaz Bertolani. Third baseman back is now playing in on the cutout over at third, trying to take away the bunt. And Burr will start him off with that outside fastball. Bertolani will foul it back, 0-1. So the Bisons come in with this as being a pivotal weekend series. There are 4 teams really bunched at the top of the West Division of the A-Sun. Those 4 are Eastern Kentucky and Jacksonville State at 14-7, and then Lipscomb and Central Arkansas at Lipscomb 13-8, Central Arkansas 14-8. They already have a win today, and that's hit into the gap in left center field. That's going to get down for extra bases. Bertolani's going to make the turn at first. He's going to head towards second, and he's going to be in there with a second base hit of the day for the Bisons and a stand-up double for Chaz Bertolani. Bertolani hit that well. Again, heavy night air with ongoing steady rain, and he got that one and crushed it to the gap in left center field. And so for second out of 3 tries, the Bisons have their leadoff batter aboard, and that'll bring Caleb Ketchup to the plate. Ketchup started things off in the first inning with a single that was hit towards third base. He beat the throw over to first after the ball bounced off the chest of back. He wound up advancing to second by a wild pitch. Or correction, by the single of Maddox Houghton, then advancing to third on a wild pitch, and he scored on the sacrifice fly from Mason Lundgren. So we'll see how the Bisons elect to play it. First and third are coming in. He pulls the bat back after showing bunt, and he'll take downstairs for ball 1. So third baseman back, still a couple steps in front of the bag. The first baseman Crane is actually on the grass by a step or 2. Infield is back up the middle, and so we'll see if the Bisons leave the bunt on here. 1 ball, no strikes against Caleb Ketchup. He again shows bunt, comes inside, almost hits him, and the count will be 2 balls and no strikes. Ketchup has 2 sacrifices on the season. Again, the rain seems to have picked up. It's blowing sideways out there towards left field. Pretty heavy wind blowing out toward the left field fence. Not bunting. There's going to be a fastball high. And after showing terrific control for the second inning, Burr's having a little trouble finding the plate right now. 3 balls, no strikes to Ketchup with Maddox Houghton waiting on deck. Chaz Bertolani, your runner at second. He's there virtue of a leadoff double. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and Lipscomb is leading Bellarmine 1-0. 3-0, he shows bunt, he's taken all the way, and that's ball 4 inside. So the Bisons will have men on first and second now as Ketchup draws the first base on balls of the day from Drew Burr, and that'll bring up Maddox Houghton. And Maddox laid down a beautiful bunt back in the first inning. Put it just to the left of the mound. It was fielded barehanded by back, but he didn't have a play, and so it was an infield single. And we'll see how the Bisons elect to play it here. Runners first and second, nobody out, bottom of the 3rd inning. First baseman Crane, again, cheating way in, a couple steps on the grass. Third baseman back is now creeping in, and he's going to be a step on the grass as well. The shortstop Mulbauer is holding the runner at second and now sprint back. And Houghton shows bunt, pops it up, and it's going to be attempted to be caught, and they're going to say he did not catch it, and he did not. It did hit the ground. We had a good view of that one. Third baseman back made a diving play. Terrific effort, but that one definitely hit the ground, and he tried to sell it. But home plate umpire Creel Waddell was not buying what he was selling there. So Houghton put that up in the air, and as good as his first bunt was, he'd like to have that one back because he almost bunted himself into the first out of the inning. Nonetheless, it'll just be a strike. It'll be no balls and 1 strike on Maddox Houghton. Bertolani running at second, Ketchup running at first. We'll see how Coach Forehand and the Bisons elect to play it here. Burr's pace has slowed down a bit now, but he's going to bring the 0-1. He's showing bunt, and he does bunt it. It's going to be back towards the mound. Burr's going to feel it. He'll look towards third. He'll throw on to first. Kind of lollipopped it over there, but he did get Houghton. But Houghton does the job and sacrifices both runners along. So a sacrifice bunt for Maddox Houghton will move Ketchup to second and Bertolani to third with 1 out. And that'll bring up Mason Lundgren. Lundgren drove in the first run of the game for the Bisons, the only run so far. He had a sacrifice fly to left field back in the first inning. So we mentioned those 4 teams bunched up at the top of the ASUN West Division, and Central Arkansas already has a win in the books today against North Alabama. So the Bisons wanting to get a win here tonight to keep pace and stay in the hunt. Top 3 teams will advance to the conference tournament. So an important weekend for Lipscomb and for all of these teams. That's a fastball that's going to miss downstairs, and it'll be a ball and no strikes to Mason Lundgren. Central Arkansas, as we mentioned, has already defeated North Alabama today 18-5. They're now 14-8 on the season. Lipscomb 13-8. Jacksonville State 14-7. Eastern Kentucky 14-7. And bringing up the back in the West is Bellarmine at 7-14. North Alabama 2-20. That's sliced foul, and it's going to get over the Bison's bullpen. And that'll even the count at a ball and a strike on Lundgren. So once again, he went the other way, just as we saw him do in the first inning. Not much of a shift on. They're playing him in pretty typical position here. Third baseman back is a couple of steps off the line, shaded towards the hole. And interestingly enough, Melbauer, the shortstop, has come in a few steps, so he's not in a normal depth. Looks like he might try to cut a run off at the plate. That's a fastball that's going to miss inside, and that'll make the count 2 balls and 1 strike to Mason Lundgren. So Bertolani doubled to start the inning. Ketchup walked, and then Maddox Houghton sacrificed them along. So second and third with 1 out here, as the Bisons would like to add to that 1-0 lead. Drew Burr did a good job of keeping them to 1 run in the first inning. He throws this one down the middle, and Lundgren's going to hit it foul again off to the left side. Swung late at the fastball, and it'll be 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lundgren's tough to strike out. He's struck out 34 times this season and 144 at bats, so he's a guy that has good hands, good hand-eye coordination, gets the bat on the ball typically. And he would like to do something here. Even a ground ball to the right side would score a run. Here's the 2-2, and he swings through at strike 3. So elevated fastball there. And that battle is going to go to Drew Burr. That's going to be 5 strikeouts through the first 2 2/3 innings. So it'll be up to Malik Williams to try to add to the lead here. Williams was one of those strikeout victims back in the first inning. Malik now batting .363 on the season. So 2 outs, runners second and third. That was a big strikeout there for Drew Burr as he came back with that elevated fastball and got Lundgren to swing through it. That's a breaking ball that'll miss downstairs, and that'll be ball 1. Some dark looking clouds that have swung in here for a few moments' time. We mentioned that we should be out from the threat of rain if we can get through about another 15 minutes, but a pretty steady westerly wind blowing straight out over the left center field fence. And Malik Williams would love to have a chance to elevate a ball and use that wind to his advantage here. Long look in by Burr as he's really slowed his pace, and he's going to step off, and Williams will step out. And we'll regroup here. So 1 ball, no strikes, with 2 on and 2 out in the bottom of the third. Swung on and hammered to left field. That's going to be out of here. Goodbye, Malik Williams. 3-run home run, and the Bisons lead 4-0. Three-run home run off the bat of Malik Williams, his 9th home run of the season, and the Bisons now lead 4-0, and that was a no-doubter off the bat. I think that one would have been out of Yellowstone Park. He really elevated that one. It was an elevated fastball. He got it up in that wind, and it was a no-doubter laser beam over the left center field fence. So Malik Williams, big blow, and that'll be 4-0 for the Bisons, and that'll be an elevated fastball to Rudy Maxwell. So 1 ball, no strikes to Maxwell. And he swings and hammers this one towards left center field. Going back is Ackerman, still going back, and gone! Solo home run, Rudy Maxwell. Back-to-back home runs for the Bisons. Rudy Maxwell goes back-to-back with Malik Williams. That one was hit deep out to left center field, and the Bisons have quickly broken this one open with 4 runs in the inning, courtesy of 3 hits A double and 2 home runs. And just like that, this tight ball game has put a little separation between these two teams. Trace Wilhoit comes up, takes that fastball on the outside corner, and it'll be 0-1. So Maxwell, again, looked like he got an elevated inside fastball, but he turned on that one and hit it out into deep left center field. And that one's going to miss downstairs, and it'll be a ball and a strike. So good swings back-to-back by Williams and Maxwell, and the Bisons have put up 4 here in the bottom of the 3rd inning and now lead 5-0. There are 2 outs and the bases are empty, and that's off speed, hit on the ground towards Melbauer at short. He's going to glove it, throw on to first. It'll bounce, but Crane will pick it up, and that'll be the 3rd out of the inning. But it is a very productive inning for the Bisons. They'll score 4 runs courtesy of 3 hits. There were no errors and no one left on base. We've played 3 full innings. Your new score, Lipscomb 5 and Bellarmine 0. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the top of the 4th inning. For the Bisons, 5 runs, 4 hits, no errors. For the Knights, no runs, 1 hit, 1 error. And Michael Dunkelberger back out on the mound for the Bisons. In the first 3 innings, he surrendered just 1 hit, no walks, and 1 strikeout. And he'll be facing 2, 3, and 4 for the Knights here with Smith, Mulkey, and Crane. Smith grounded out to first baseman Malik Williams in his first time at bat back in the 1st inning. Dunkelberger is working off 2 straight 1-2-3 innings in the 2nd and the 3rd. Starts him off with a breaking ball that'll stay inside for ball 1. Smith, the sophomore catcher. And he'll take a fastball again on the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. So we mentioned Dunkelberger really locating that pitch. That pitch comes in. It's in on the hands, and in that case down in the zone. A tough location for these right-handed hitters coming from the left-hander Dunkelberger. Here comes the 1-1. Tries the same pitch. It catches a little more of the plate, but same result. It's a strike. So 1 ball, 2 strikes on Ashton Smith. We mentioned the Western Division of the ASUN. We'll talk about the standings on the East Division after we see the 1-2 offering from Dunkelberger. Swung on and hit on the ground towards second. Stamps is going to glove it. He's going to throw over to first. And that'll be the 1st out of the inning as they retire Ashton Smith 4-3. So on the Eastern Division, Liberty leads with a record of 15-7. Kennesaw State on their heels at 14-7. Florida Gulf Coast 12-9. Jacksonville 9-13. North Florida 8-13. And Stetson brings up the rear at 6-15 on the season. So again, a lot of good baseball being played over there. Pretty much a 2-team race between Liberty and Kennesaw State in the East Division. And Jacob Mulkey is going to take a fastball high. It'll be 1 ball, no strikes. He has the only base hit of the night for the Knights as he singled into right field in his first at-bat of the evening. Mulkey's a 5th-year senior and a 4-year starter for Bellarmine. That's going to miss high as well. 2 balls, no strikes. He's appeared in 127 games, and throughout his college career, he's batted .287, 11 homers, 27 doubles, and 81 RBIs. So he's been starting for the last 3 seasons and played a lot of baseball here at Bellarmine. And he awaits a 2-0 offering from Dunkelberger. That's going to miss downstairs, and he falls behind Mulkey 3 balls, no strikes. Again, Mulkey came in batting .301, so an experienced hitter, 7 home runs on the season. That's second on the club, behind the leadoff man, Matt Higgins. The 3-0, and that's right through there for a strike. It'll be 3 balls and 1 strike. We mentioned that we'll be going to the scoreboard and telling you about the ASUN scorers as well as some other area teams as we get here in the middle innings. First, the 3-1 swings through an off-speed pitch, and 3-2. Pulled the string. That looked like a changeup, and it was a dandy. So 3 balls, 2 strikes. After Mulkey had gotten ahead 3-0, Dunkelberger fights back. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, bases empty. Top of the 4th inning. Lipscomb leading Bellarmine 5-0. And here's the payoff. Misses inside with a fastball, and that'll be ball 4. And that'll be the first walk of the day for Michael Dunkelberger, and it'll bring up first baseman Davis Crane. He flew out to the left fielder, Rudy Maxwell, back in the 1st inning. So 0 for 1 on the night. Came in batting .289 on the season, did Davis Crane. Again, Mulkey, not much of a threat to run, just 3 for 3 on the season in stolen bases. He doesn't have a big lead against the left-hander Dunkelberger here. Starts him off with a fastball, sliced down, and that's going to go foul. So good piece of hitting there. He hit it down the left field line. It was over the head of third baseman Trace Wilhoit, but it went foul and got all the way to the corner. So no balls and 1 strike. So checking our ASUN scoreboard, Liberty has beaten Jacksonville 7-5. North Florida has beaten Stetson 8-4. And as we mentioned, Central Arkansas has beaten North Alabama 18-9. That pitch is going to miss for ball 1, so 1 ball and 1 strike. So that's your ASUN scoreboard. Games that have been played and are underway right now. The 1 ball, 1 strike pitch from Dunkelberger. It's going to be hit high in the air on the left side. It's going towards left field. I don't think Maxwell saw it off the bat. Now he does. Now he's drifting over, and he's going to catch it for the 2nd out of the inning. So Maxwell threw his hands up like, hey, I don't see that one. It's kind of that bewitching time of night where we still have a little bit of daylight out, heavy cloud cover, and the lights are on. Maxwell didn't see it off the bat, but he recovered and gloves it for the 2nd out. So 2 down now, runner at first, and that'll bring up Clayton Melbauer. Melbauer grounded out to the 3rd baseman back in the 2nd inning. And he'll bat now with 2 outs and the runner at first. Stamp shifted up the middle on the shift. Curveball and a beauty. 0-1. Really pulled the string on him there. So when Dunkelberger likes to establish that fastball, we mentioned using it to both halves of the plate. Then he comes back with those breaking pitches, and that's what's made him very, very effective throughout the season for the Bisons as their Friday night starter. Another curveball, and he fouls that one back. Just got a piece to stay alive. 0-2. So back-to-back breaking balls to Melbauer. And we'll see how they elect to pitch him here. Again, Mulkey is your runner at first. He's there with a base on balls. Has only 1 hit so far for the Knights off of Michael Dunkelberger. Here's the 0-2. Breaking ball is going to bounce way away. It's going to get all the way toward the dugout. That one hit. Looks like it probably kicked off the shin guard of Bertolani, and so that'll go down as a wild pitch. That'll allow Mulkey to trot down to second base. Like it hit his shin guard, ricocheted off, went toward the Bellarmine dugout, did not cross into the dugout, which is a break for the Bison. So Mulkey will take second. He'll be in scoring position. First runner in scoring position for the Knights, but a 1 ball, 2 strike count on Clayton Melbauer. Peyton Back is on deck if Melbauer is able to extend the inning here. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Dunkelberger brings it to him. Fastball inside corner, called strike 3. Beautiful pitch there. Again, that's that inside fastball. He backed him off the plate and gets his 2nd strikeout of the night. And the Knights will strand their 2nd runner of the game. Nothing doing as far as runs getting across. And we head to the home half of the 4th inning. Your score, Lipscomb 5 and Bellarmine 0. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the home half of the fourth inning. Lipscomb leading 5-0, and it'll be John Shields leading things off for the Bisons. He'll be followed by Ethan Stamps and Chaz Bertolani. Drew Burr has gone all the way for the Knights. He surrendered 5 runs on 4 hits. He did give up the 2 home runs back-to-back in the third inning. And Shields was a strikeout victim back in the fourth, and he takes the fastball high, 1 ball, no strikes. Third baseman back was defending the bunt there. He had a couple of steps in. He's still about on the edge of the grass, so trying to take away the bunt from Shields. Swings and fouls that one off the end of the bat, and it'll be 1 ball and 1 strike on John. Scores on a couple of other area teams tonight. Middle Tennessee trailing Florida International 2-0 in conference play. Belmont has beaten Tennessee Martin 8-1 in the OVC, and Austin Peay is leading Murray State 3-0 in the bottom of the 5th, and Tennessee and Kentucky are scoreless in the 2nd. That's a fastball in the outside corner. Beautiful spot. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kentucky outlasted Tennessee 13 innings last night. They came away with a walk-off win, 3-2. Here comes the 1-2 pitch, and that's down in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Former Bison Tyler Guilfoyle with a terrific performance in that game. He got the win. He pitched the final 6 innings, did not allow a run to that potent Tennessee lineup, gave up only 1 hit, and was the winning pitcher as the Wildcats won it in the 13th inning over Tennessee, number 1 ranked Tennessee last night. So kudos to Tyler Guilfoyle for that effort. Here comes the 2-2, breaking ball and swung through it, strike 3. That's 6 strikeouts now for Drew Burr, and so he's looked extremely sharp other than a stretch of about 3 or 4 hitters there in that last inning when the Bisons were able to piece together a double, a walk, a sac bunt, and a couple of home runs, and that's the difference in the game at this point. So Ethan Stamps comes up there. He was a strikeout victim his first time up back in the 2nd inning. And Burr starts him off with a breaking ball that catches the inside corner for strike 1. The ball is 1 strike on Stamps. A couple other scores of area teams. Vanderbilt leads Georgia 5-4. That's in the bottom of the 5th inning as they play over at Georgia. That's going to miss downstairs. It'll be a ball and a strike. One way outside and high. 2 balls, 1 strike on Stamps. Same 2 teams here tomorrow. That'll be a 2 p.m. start time, I believe. We're going to confirm that for you. Here first is the 2-1 pitch. Swung on, hit of the air to right field. Mulkey's going back, drifts over to the wall. Now he's going back further, and it's gone. A home run. Fifth home run of the season for Ethan Stamps, and it looked like Mulkey was going to catch that ball as he drifted back, seemed to camp under it. Then he abruptly went back further and realized the ball was hit further than he thought it was. So Ethan Stamps gets the 5th Bison hit of the day and the 6th run, and Lipscomb has opened up a 6-0 lead with their 3rd home run of the game. Chaz Bertolani will stand in there with 1 out and the bases empty. Bertolani doubled back in to get that 3rd inning started, and then he scored on the Malik Williams 3-run home run. And he'll take that fastball downstairs for ball 1. So, again, Stamps, that was an outside fastball. He hit it. I thought it was going to be a routine fly to right, as did the right fielder Mulkey, and then all of a sudden he broke back, and that was snuck over the wall. So, Stamps gets the Bisons their 6th run of the day. Bertolani checks his swing. Home plate or first base umpire Eric Gaucher says he did not go. So it'll be 2 balls and no strikes on Chaz Bertolani. Top of the order, and Caleb Ketchup waits on deck. So 5 hits for the Bisons, but 3 of them have gone over the fence. That'll get you ahead in a hurry. That's a slider that misses downstairs, and so now he's fallen behind 3 balls and no strikes. He's only had a 3-ball count on 2 hitters so far, or actually 3 hitters total. So 3 of the 18 hitters he's gotten to a 3-ball count, and it's 3-0 on Bertolani, and we think he's taking a pitch here, and he does, and there's the automatic strike. So 3 balls and 1 strike on Chaz. And the 3-1. Swung on and hit, base hit up the middle. So Bertolani 2 for 2 on the night, as he'll have the 6th Bison's hit of the night, and Chaz Bertolani came to play tonight. He's on first base with one out, and we're back to the top of the order, and Caleb Ketchup. Good piece of hitting there from Bertolani. That was that fastball in the outside part. He went with it and hit it up the middle. And Ketchup has batted twice, been on base both times. He singled to start things off in the first and came around to score on the sacrifice fly from Mason Lundgren. He walked and scored back in the third. So 2 runs scored, 2 plate appearances for the Bison's leadoff hitter, which is exactly what you want him to do. And Chaz Bertolani, I'm sure, would want me to relate to you that he is 2 for 2 on the season in stolen bases. So that's going to bounce off the bat. Looks like a foul ball. Ketchup tried to check his swing, but he fouls it off at the plate, so it'll be 0-1. So now 6 runs on 6 hits for the Bisons. They have not committed an error. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 error for the Knights. And the 0-1 pitch to Ketchup is also on the outside corner, and that's 0-2. So Bertolani using that vault lead that you see sometimes. He takes his primary lead, and then after the pitcher comes set, he'll hop out there for another step or 2, trying to disrupt the pitcher's concentration and timing. Of course, that's a dangerous lead if the pitcher happens to pick over when you're making that extra extension, but it's a lead that you see a lot of base runners use. Ketchup's going to foul that one out of play, and the count's going to remain 0-2. Ketchup's only struck out 21 times in 150 at-bats this season, and so a really excellent ratio there for the Bison shortstop, who has really come on offensively as the season has progressed. No balls, 2 strikes. Bertolani again extends the lead. Long hold from Burr here. He's going to throw to first, and he'll chase him back and put a little dirt on the uniform of Mr. Bertolani. So no balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning, and Lipscomb is leading Bellarmine 6-0. Looks like the rain has slacked up here. If it's falling, it's only misting at the moment. Bertolani is running, and he hammers that one down the left field line. It's going to be a fair ball going all the way to the corner. They're going to wave Bertolani home. Ketchup is going to get to second, and he's going to drive in the 7th run of the game with a double off the bat of Caleb Ketchup. So good piece of hitting there. Bertolani was running on the pitch, and Ketchup hammered that one down the left field line. It was just inside the line, but went all the way down in the corner. Higgins had a long way to come to pick that one up, and Bertolani, running on the pitch, was waved around for the 7th run of the evening for the Bisons. That's the 3rd hit of the inning for Lipscomb. And we're going to have a visit to the mound, and that may be the end of the night for Drew Burr. So Burr really was brilliant in some stretches here when he was locating those pitches, getting ahead of hitters. As we mentioned, he's got 6 strikeouts here through the first 3 1/3 innings. He's only walked 1, but he's given up now 7 hits and 7 runs, 6 of which are earned. He's thrown a total of 67 pitches so far, so we'll see if Coach Owens elects to make a change here. We mentioned that these same 2 teams will play tomorrow, 2 p.m. start time. And again, 1 p.m. start on Sunday. Bisons will then be on the road, but local here as they play at Belmont, the 2nd installment of the Battle of the Boulevard. That'll be on Tuesday the 10th. Start time for that one will be 5 p.m. over at Rose Park. And the Bisons have 3 games on the road next weekend at Eastern Kentucky, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, before coming home and finishing off their season with a 3-game series at North Alabama, 19th, 20th, and 21st of May. And Maddox Houghton is going to look at a pitch on the outside off the plate, rather, for 1 ball, no strikes, as they elect to leave Burr in the game. Do see a little bit of activity down in the Knights bullpen. Can't get a number on who's throwing, but someone is loosening up down there. So 1 ball, no strikes to Maddox Houghton. Maddox has 2 bunts on the night. One that went for a base hit, one that was a sacrifice, and he swings and fouls that one out of play to the right side, and it'll be a ball and a strike. If you tuned in late, we mentioned at the top of the broadcast that Maddox Houghton was the 2022 Ken Dugan Award winner. That award presented tonight prior to the game. It's the top honor in the Lipscomb baseball program, given for leadership, character, and passion for the game. And Maddox Houghton, the most deserving winner of that award, the 5th-year senior out of Dalton, Georgia. And he awaits the 1-1 pitch, and that one's going to catch the outside corner, and it'll be a ball and 2 strikes. So 1 ball, 2 strikes Ketchup, your runner at second with outstanding speed, 22 out of 23 on stolen bases, and he has stolen third frequently this season. But Birch, the second baseman, is really trying to keep him close, and he's got a fairly modest lead out there, certainly by his standards. Now he extends it a little bit and a little more, and they're going to try to pick him, and he's going to go back. So a little bit of the flash play there, whereas Ketchup was extending his lead. Birch flashed over to the pitcher, and they decided to throw at him to cut that lead down. So not really trying to pick him off there so much as probably trying to cut that lead and just make sure he does not have an easy path to third or try to score on a shallow hit. The outfield is very deep in left and in center for Houghton. And it'll be a 1-2 pitch, and he swings and fouls it at the plate. That's going to keep the count of 1-2 strikes. Looked like a breaking ball that he went down and just tapped foul. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Again, to recap this inning, Shields was a strikeout victim, then Stamps hit a solo home run to right field. Bertolani singled sharply up the middle, and then Ketchup doubled into the left field corner and scored Bertolani all the way from first base. So the Bison's already 2 runs in this inning. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out to Maddox Houghton, and that's a pitch that'll miss high, and it'll be 2 balls and no strikes. 68 pitches on the night now for Drew Burr through 3 1/3 of an inning. We mentioned he's gone 7 innings twice throughout the season, the most recent of which was last Friday night against Eastern Kentucky. Here comes the 2-2, and it won't be made as Houghton will call time. Threw 107 pitches last week in that effort against Eastern Kentucky, so he's certainly capable of going deeper into ball games, and he'd love to get Houghton here and keep Ketchup at second. 2 balls, 2 strike, and they're going to again make the inside move as Ketchup continues to extend that lead. He'll get a primary lead, and then as Burr gets deeper into his hold, he's extending it a bit and forcing him to think about him, which is exactly what you want to do as a base runner there, is have that pitcher worrying about you at second and thinking less about the pitch he's about to execute. First baseman Crane way off the line at first base, and that's hit that way, but foul as Maddox took a shot to right field. So Birch holding the runner on at second, and Crane trying to go over and fill a little bit of that hole between second and first, and so big gap down the line on first base. Traditional alignment on the left side. We mentioned Higgins deep in left, and Orickman is fairly normal depth in straightaway center. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, still to count to Maddox Houghton. And the pitch will be made, and it'll miss high, and that's run the count full now. So 3-2. We'll see if they put Ketchup in motion. I assume that he pretty much has the green light whenever he thinks he can get third base. And we'll see what he elects to do here. 3 balls, 2 strikes. He's again extending the lead and bluffs the throw and doesn't go, and Maddox Houghton will take ball 4. That's just the second walk of the night for Drew Burr. And the Bisons will have runners first and second with 1 out, and that looks like that is going to be the end of the night for Drew Burr. So pitching change will be coming. We'll step aside, and we'll tell you all about the new pitcher when we come back. We're playing in the bottom of the 4th inning, and your score, Lipscomb 7 and Bellarmine nothing. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. The new pitcher for the Knights is the junior right-hander Joe Wilkinson, 6'4", 225-pounder out of New Albany, Indiana. A transfer from Indiana University. Wilkinson is making his 12th appearance on the season. He started twice. Has no record, ERA of 11.57. He's worked 9 1/3 innings, 15 hits, 15 runs, 12 earned, 12 walks, 2 strikeouts. The opponent's batting .375 against him. And Mason Lundgren will lead things off against him here. Lundgren hit a sacrifice fly back in the first and was a strikeout victim back in the third inning. So catch up your runner at second, Houghton runner at first, 1 out. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning, and Lipscomb leading Bellarmine 7-0. Runners are going, and they're going to be in there as that one got away from Smith. And the ball gets further away, but the runners can't advance. So I think that'll be a stolen base for both Ketchup and Houghton. And that'll be the 23rd steal in the season for Ketchup and the 16th for, or correction, the 19th for Maddox Houghton. Ketchup now 23 out of 24 and Houghton 19 out of 23 on the season. So, again, don't often see runners stealing third with a left-handed batter up there, but Ketchup with good speed, had a good jump, and I think even if he caught that cleanly, he's probably going to be in there, but it bounced away from the catcher Smith, and the count's a ball and no strikes on Mason Lundgren. So to reset now, Ketchup running at third, Houghton at second, 1 out. 2 runs already home here in the bottom half of the fourth inning, and the Bisons threaten to add more if Lundgren can put the ball in play here. Infield is back, and outfield is in standard position, and that's going to miss off the plate, and it'll be 2 balls and no strikes. Last outing for Wilkinson was last Saturday against Eastern Kentucky. He went 2 innings, gave up 6 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned, no walks and 1 strikeout. That was his longest outing of the season, those 2 innings for Wilkinson. Swung on and hit high in the air, and that's going to be foul and out of play, and that'll make the count 2 balls and 1 strike. So 2 balls, 1 strike on Lundgren. As Joe Wilkinson on in relief of Drew Burr here for the Bellarmine Knights. As the Bisons really threatening to break this one open. Swung on and hammered towards first. It's off the glove of Crane. He's going to pick it up, and he won't get him. And that's going to drive Ketchup home with the 8th run of the game. We'll see how they score that one. The ball was hit really hard. They are going to go ahead and give him an error on that. So that'll be an error on the first baseman, Crane. So no RBI there for Lundgren, but Ketchup will come across and will score the 8th run of the game for the Bisons. And so they go up 8-0, and now runners will be at the corners with Lundgren at first and Houghton advancing over to third, and Malik Williams will stand in there. Malik, one of the 3 home runs on the night that the Bisons have hit, as he hit one way out of here in the 3rd inning, 3-run shot. That was his 9th home run of the season. That's a fastball that's going to miss inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Malik 1 for 2 on the night, also struck out back in the 1st inning. And he came up with 2 men on in the 3rd and hammered one way out of here. A laser shot that opened things up for the Bisons in that 4-run 3rd inning. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and hit into the gap. That's going to get through into left field, and that's going to be an RBI base hit as Maddox Houghton will come home with the 9th run of the night for Lipscomb. And they now lead 9-0, RBI single for Malik Williams. So didn't try to do too much with that, just hit it right in the 6th hole, and the shortstop Melbauer could not get over to glove it. And so the Bisons again will have runners first and second with just 1 out, and Rudy Maxwell come up. Rudy is one of those home runs on the night. He hit a solo shot to deep left center field his last time up. He's also grounded out. So 1 for 2, now up to 284 on the season. Off-speed pitch almost hit him. It stayed inside. It'll be a ball and no strikes on Rudy. 9 runs now on 8 hits for the Bisons, as they have blown this one open in the bottom of the 4th inning. 4-run innings back-to-back in the 3rd and the 4th, and that's off speed and almost hit him again. So 2-0 now on Rudy Maxwell. Trace Wilhoit waiting on deck. That was Rudy's 7th home run of the season. He had a home run in his very first at-bat as a Bison back on opening day this year, and has had a fine final season of college baseball. Here's the 2-0. Swung on and hammered down the left field line, but it's going to go foul. He got out in front of that one. as it looked like he took something off to try to get it across the plate. Maxwell hit it foul. So 2-1 on Rudy Maxwell. Will Hoyt waits on deck. He would be the 9th man to bat in this inning as the Bisons have really come out swinging the bat tonight. Again, not a conducive night for the hitters. We've had a lot of rain. The air is quite heavy, but the wind has been blowing steadily out towards left center field. And the Bisons have taken advantage of that and put some good swings on some balls here tonight. So 2 balls, 1 strike to Rudy Maxwell. 2 on and 1 out. Swung on and hit in the air towards center field. Going back is Ackerman, still going back and gloves it. Fine running catch. And Maxwell hit that well, but he hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark, and he'll be retired for the 2nd out of the inning. So 2 outs now on Trace Wilhoit, the 9th man to bat in the inning. Wilhoit was called out on strikes in the 2nd and grounded out in the 3rd. So 0 for 2 on the night, now batting .230 on the season. He's tied for the team lead now in home runs with 9, as Malik Williams has just tied him tonight by hitting his 9th home run. So 2 outs, 2 on, and Wilhoit batting. Lundgren, your runner at 2nd, and Williams, your runner at 1st, and that's off the plate for ball 1. Ball, no strikes. Looks like most of the rain has stopped for now, so got most of the umbrellas down. That one's going to catch the inside corner. I don't think Wilhoit agreed with that call, but it'll be a ball and a strike. And he'll step out and scratch the dirt, check his bearings, and get back in there. So 3 hits in the inning for the Bisons. And a 1-1 pitch due to Wilhoit. That's going to be a breaking ball and a beauty there. That'll be strike 2. Got the curveball coming across the plate. Froze him. So a ball and 2 strikes on Wilhoit. As Joe Wilkinson tries to escape without further damage. He's come on in this inning and given up a base hit and an error and gotten a fly ball out. And he's going to hit that one hit in the air to shallow center field. Ackerman's coming in, and he's camped out under it. And he will retire Trace Wilhoit with the 3rd out of the inning. But again, a very productive inning for the Bisons. They score 3 runs on 3 hits. There was 1 error. They leave 2 men on base and have stranded 3 runners for the night. But after 4 innings, your new score, Lipscomb 9 and Bellarmine nothing. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the top of the 5th inning. Lipscomb leading 9-0, and Michael Dunkelberger back on the mound. He'll face 6, 7, and 8 back Ackerman and Bertetic for Bellarmine. Dunkelberger's been in control so far. 4 innings, just 1 hit. He's walked 1 and struck out 2, and he's thrown only 44 pitches to get through those first 4 innings. So he's been quite efficient. And back flew out to right field in his first at-bat. And he starts him off with a fastball that he's going to hit into right field for a base hit. So that'll be the 2nd hit of the night for Bellarmine. And back is aboard. That'll be the first time all game that the Knights have their leadoff hitter on. So in the 5th inning, they get their leadoff man on, and that'll bring up Jack Ackerman, the center fielder, who flew out to left field back in his first at-bat. Long time for Dunkelberger to sit there. It was a very long bottom of the 4th inning with the Bisons putting up those 4 runs and also a pitching change. So you often think about your pitchers getting a little cold as they have to sit there, particularly on this heavy, damp night. And he starts him off with a fastball on the inside corner, 0-1. So runner at first is Peyton Back. Back is 2 for 3 on the season in stolen bases. Ackerman now batting .267 on the season, and he swings through that one, even though it was about a foot off the plate. So that'll make the count no balls and 2 strikes to Ackerman. Bratetic waits on deck. Not much of a lead at first for Back. And that one bounces up there. Fastball, good glove save there made by Chaz Bertolani. Looked like a hockey goalie there picking that one up off the dirt. And it'll be a ball and 2 strikes on Jack Ackerman. Pretty straightaway defensive alignment here for the left-handed hitter Ackerman, facing the lefty Dunkelberger, and he pulls the string on him there and got him swinging beauty. That was like a change-up that he got him on. And so that'll be the first out of the inning. That'll be the 3rd strikeout of the night for Michael Dunkelberger. And that'll bring up Gabe Bratetic, the designated hitter. He was one of the strikeout victims back in the 3rd inning. He's now batting .244 on the season. He's got 3 homers and 14 RBIs. Designated hitter tonight, the junior. And tries to check his swing, but goes through that breaking ball. It'll be 0-1. Dunkelberger really been in command. Same type of starts we've seen from him. There's around the plate, pitching to contact, keeping his pitch count down, working both sides of the plate with a fastball, and then mixing in those breaking balls. The 0-1 is going to be a fastball, and that's also going to be a strike. So quickly, he's ahead of Bratetic, 0-2. Again, back your runner at first. He singled to lead off the inning. We're playing in the top of the 5th inning, and Lipscomb is leading Bellarmine 9-0 here. Friday night ASUN conference action. Swung on and tapped back towards the mound. Dunkelberger's going to field it. Only play will be to first, and he throws there, and that'll be the 2nd out of the inning. So Bratetic retired with a tapper back to the mound. That'll allow Back to jog down to 2nd, but with 2 outs now, that'll bring up Colin Birch. Birch was a ground-out victim back in the 3rd inning. Hitting .262 on the season is Colin Birch. He is a senior out of Plantation, Florida. Previously been at Western Carolina and Southwestern Illinois College before coming to Bellarmine. Starts him off with a fastball that'll stay high, 1 ball and no strike. So if you haven't watched a lot of Lipscomb games, you'll see them using the wristband or waist guard, as Dunkelberger likes to wear it. When there's a runner on 2nd, they'll flash signs off of an electronic screen, and so Lipscomb uses that system to relay signs in when there's a runner on 2nd base. Only time that they use that system. Swung on and hit high in the air to center field, but Maddox Houghton is camping out on it. He takes a few steps back, still going back, and he's going to glove it for the 3rd out of the inning. So they get a leadoff base hit, but they wind up stranding him, and that's 3 runners stranded on the night for the Bellarmine Knights. We're going to head to the home half of the 5th inning, and your score, Lipscomb 9 and Bellarmine 0. You're watching Lipscomb Bison's Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the home half of the 5th inning. Lipscomb leading Bellarmine 9-0, and it will be 7-8-9 Shields, Stamps, and Bertolani to face Joe Wilkinson. He's on working his 2nd inning in relief. And John's one of the few Bisons had a tough night so far at the plate. He struck out swinging twice. Both of those at-bats were against Drew Burr, so fresh start for Shields here as he leads off the home half of the 5th inning. And he hits the first pitch he sees into right field for a base hit. So there's John Shields hearing me challenge him, and he does just what he wanted to do, get up there and straighten himself out with a base hit. That will be the 10th hit of the night for the Bisons. Correction, 9th hit of the night for the Bisons. And Shields is aboard for Ethan Stamps. Stamps, one of the home run parade tonight. He hit a solo shot back in the 4th inning. He's also struck out swinging, so 1 for 2 for Stamps. Bisons with 3 home runs tonight as Stamps has a solo shot, Rudy Maxwell has a solo shot, and Malik Williams a 3-run home run. And if you're keeping track, the Bisons are 12-2 this season when they hit 2 or more home runs in a ball game. And Stamps hits that one on the ground towards short. Melbauer's going over to field it. His only play will be to first, and it's picked up off the ground by Crane. So that'll go down as a fielder's choice. 6-3, which allows Stamps to go to second, or Shields to go to second rather, and retires Stamps as the first out of the inning. So catcher Chaz Bertolani will stand in there, and Bertolani has been red hot tonight, 2 for 2. He hit a double all the way to the wall in left center field, and then single sharply back up the middle in the 4th inning. Bertolani up to 220 now on the season, but swinging it hot tonight. Likes what he's seen from the Bellarmine Knights pitching, and so Shields, your runner at second. He has excellent speed. 15 for 18 on the season for steals is John Shields. He's being lightly held there by Birch, the second baseman. Bertolani hammers this one in the air to center field, but it's going to hold up there, and Ackerman's going to get under it. And they're going to finally retire Chaz Bertolani, but John Shields is going to tag up and head to third base. So Bertolani flies out to center field, the second out of the inning. Shields tags and moves over to third. And that'll take us back to the top of the order, and 4th at-bat of the night for Caleb Ketchup, and he has been on base every time. He singled, doubled, and walked, and he scored all 3 at-bats, or plate appearances rather, so doing exactly what you want from your leadoff hitter. 265 on the season, 365 on base percentage for Caleb Ketchup. And 3 runs scored tonight and 1 base hit. And that's going to be fouled out of play. Looks like they have ruled that first at-bat for Ketchup as an error. That was an error that was recorded there. So they won't give him a base hit. They'll say he reached on an error back in the 1st inning. All I can say is, Caleb, I don't make those rules. I just report them. Here comes the 0-1. That one's going to miss downstairs and low, and that'll be a ball and a strike on Caleb Ketchup. So 2 outs. Shields, your runner at third. He started the inning with a base hit. Stamps was hit slowly into a fielder's choice where the shortstop threw to first, and Bertolani flew out to center field. And we await the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball is in there for a strike, and it'll be a ball and 2 strikes on Caleb Ketchup. Maddox Houghton waits on deck if Ketchup can extend the inning here. Playing in the bottom of the 5th, and Lipscomb leads 9-0 over Bellarmine. And we're going to have a visit to the mound, so interesting timing of a mound visit, but it's a very purposeful walk for Bellarmine's coach who's heading out to the mound. So he must have seen something that he didn't like from his battery. They might have been crossed up on the signs. This will give us an opportunity to tell you that tomorrow's game is a 6 p.m. start. We did have that noted in a couple of different places, but it is graduation day at Lipscomb, and so due to the graduation ceremony, tomorrow's game will start at 6 p.m. So we'll be on the air at approximately 5:55 p.m. Central Time. That broadcast will be here on YouTube Live, so any of you that are making plans to join us either in person or on our broadcast, please note the start time for tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time start. Counts 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's 2 outs, and Caleb Ketchup would like to keep himself alive here. He's going to ask for and receive time. Joe Wilkinson has come on and pitched in his 2nd inning. He's worked an inning and a third, given up 2 hits. No runs have been charged to him yet. And he's got a 1-2 count on Caleb Ketchup. That's going to stay high, and that'll make the count 2-2. Expected starters tomorrow are Colin Witzke for the Bisons and Nolan Pender for the Knights. And on Sunday, we're expecting Ike Buxton for the Bisons and Gavin Broniker for the Knights. So, three-game series here. That one's going to miss way outside. Good play by Smith to hang on to that one. And Ketchup has worked the count full now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And the Bisons' leadoff hitter, Caleb Ketchup, has been on base all 3 times tonight, as we mentioned. The Knights would like to try to keep him from making it 4 in a row here, and he awaits the payoff pitch from Joe Wilkinson. And that's going to miss downstairs, and Ketchup is going to be on board for the 4th time tonight. So good at bat by Ketchup as he fought back after getting behind 2 strikes, and that'll give Maddox Houghton a chance. Houghton had a bunt single in the first, a sacrifice bunt in the third, and then drew a walk back in the 4th inning. So he's officially 1 for 1 on the night. His average is up to 308. Ketchup a huge threat to run at first base. We mentioned he now has 23 steals in the season on 24 attempts. And I would not at all be surprised to see him running here. I'm sure the Knights are thinking something similar, and he is going, and a breaking ball is going to be high, and they're not even going to make a throw. So Ketchup will advance down to second, and the count will be 1 ball and no strikes on Maddox Houghton. That is a stolen base for Ketchup, so he'll have 2 steals on the night now. The 1-0 swung on and fouled out of play, 1-1. So Ketchup your runner at second. John Shields running at third. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Lipscomb leading 9-0. As they put up a single run in the first, 4 in the third, 4 in the 4th. Haven't scored here in the 5th, but are threatening to do so with 2 outs. And Maddox Houghton waits the 1-1 pitch, and that's swung on and hit into left field, and he will drive in the 10th run of the game, and they're going to wave Ketchup. Here he comes around third, and throw will be cut off, and he scores. So 2 RBIs for Maddox Houghton. It's 11-0 Lipscomb. Well, that's the power of speed for you right there with Caleb Ketchup running. So he was the runner at second, obviously running on contact with 2 outs, and he never hesitated, hit third base and accelerated around, and that's 2 more runs for the Bisons, and they now have 11 on the night and 10 hits, and Mason Lundgren will try to keep things going. Mason hit a sacrifice fly, the first RBI of the night back in the first, struck out in the third, and reached on an error in the 4th. So he's 0 for 2 on the night, now batting .301 on the season. Turns, and did he go? They're going to ask, and they're going to say he did. Okay, they're going to call that a strike. Looks like no balls and 1 strike. He tried to check his swing on an inside pitch, but they're going to call it a strike from the plate. Home plate umpire Creel Waddell called that one. So no balls, 1 strike. Houghton with good speed, but up 11-0. Not as likely to run, I would think. That one bounces up there, and it's going to get away from the catcher, but Houghton again will watch it, and the count will leave it at a ball and a strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Lipscomb with 11 runs on 10 hits. Bellarmine no runs on 2 hits. They've committed 2 errors. The Bisons have not committed an error tonight, and this one has been all Lipscomb so far. We talked about the fact that the Bisons had not played since last Sunday, but they do not appear to look rusty as they've come in here and swung the bat well, executed pitches on the mound, and played a solid overall game. Here's the 1-1 to Lundgren. That's going to be a breaking ball that stays high, and it will be 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 balls, 1 strike on Mason Lundgren. Malik Williams waits on deck if Lundgren can extend the inning. And again, the Bisons have scored in every inning but the second. 1 in the first. They had 4 in the third, 4 in the 4th, and 2 now here in the 5th inning. That one's going to stay inside and high, and it'll be 3-1 now on Mason Lundgren. Drew Burr started, right-hander for the Knights gave up 1 run in the first, struck out the side in the second inning, but then disaster hit in the third inning. A couple of home runs from the Bisons, and they wound up putting 4 runs and chasing him out of the game in the fourth inning, and that one's going to be inside corner for strike 2 against Mason Lundgren. The final line on Drew Burr, 3 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 9 runs, 8 earned, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts on the night for the starter Drew Burr. So we got a full count. That'll mean Houghton will be running on this pitch with 2 outs. He takes off, and that's hit right back up the middle, and Mason Lundgren has a base hit, and Houghton's going to accelerate around second and cruise on over to third. So runners will be at the corners with 2 outs. Mason Lundgren has his first base hit of the night. That'll be the 3rd hit of the inning and the 11th hit of the night for the Bisons. And here comes that man again, Malik Williams, who's had quite a night. He struck out swinging in his first at-bat at a high pitch, but he made up for it in the 3rd inning. He had a bomb way out of here in left field, a 3-run home run, and then he singled and drove a run in the 4th. So Williams is 2 for 3 on the night with 4 RBIs, average now up to 370, and he's got 49 ribbies on the season and a chance to do some more damage with runners at first and third. 2 outs here. Breaking ball is going to miss low, and that'll be 1 ball and no strikes. Houghton running at third, Lundgren running at first. Mason's 2 for 4 in the season on steals, but again, an 11-0 game, wouldn't expect to see him running here. And Williams will await the 1-0 pitch. Hammers that one to the left field, and there's an RBI base hit. That's going to be the 12th run of the day. Lundgren is motoring around second, and he's going to head to third, and he'll get in there standing up. And Malik Williams has his 5th RBI of the day, and the 12th Bisons run as they extend that lead now on that RBI single. So Malik Williams stays red hot, and that'll bring up Rudy Maxwell, who's also had a home run tonight. It was a solo shot back in the 3rd. He's flied out to center and grounded out in his other 2 plate appearances. Runners at the corner, still 2 outs. Lundgren, your runner at third, Williams running at first, and Rudy Maxwell swings and fouls the first pitch back. He took a big hack at that one. He was wanting to see if he could lift another one up into that wind that continues to blow out. It's blowing out to left field. The rain has stopped. Again, we had a lot of rain off and on through the first couple of innings after heavy rain during the day. Say a word of congratulations again to Colby Rawls and the groundskeeping crew. The field was tarped, and they do an excellent job keeping this field in great shape, and even the standing water that we had before down the first and third base lines is now gone. So this field drains amazingly well considering how much rain we had today. No balls, 1 strike to Rudy Maxwell. And he hammers that one through for a base hit, and that'll be the 13th run of the game and an RBI single for Rudy Maxwell. So the hit parade continues here for the Bisons. Malik Williams will stop at second. Mason Lundgren comes around to score the 13th run of the night. That's now 4 runs in the inning on 5 hits, and we're down to the 9th man to bat in the inning, Trace Wilhoit. He was the 9th man to come to bat in the 4th inning as well and was retired. And in fact, Trace is still looking for his first hit of the night. He struck out, grounded out, and flied out. So he'd like to join this hit parade as the Bisons have put up 13 hits. And he is the only Bison that hasn't been on base so far. And it looks like we're going to have a brief mound conference there as the catcher Smith goes out to talk to Joe Wilkinson, probably reminding him that there's 2 outs and we just got to get 1 more somehow here. Don't see anyone throwing in the Bellarmine bullpen. Actually, there is someone warming up now. We can't get a number from our vantage point, but someone is throwing a bit. 13-0, Lipscomb is leading. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning as the Bisons have put up crooked numbers in 3 straight innings now with 4 runs in the 3rd, 4 in the 4th, and 4 in the 5th. And Wilhoit bats with 2 outs and 2 on. And he took a big swing and fouled that one back to the screen, 0-1. This inning started with Shields. He singled. Stamps his hit into a fielder's choice, and Bertolani flew out to center field. So there were 2 outs and 1 runner on. Ketchup walked. And then Maddox Houghton hit a base hit, scored a run. 2 runs rather. Mason Lundgren with a base hit. Malik Williams with a base hit. And Rudy Maxwell with a base hit. So 4 base hits in a row for the Bisons. Here's the 0-1, swings through the fastball there, and it'll be 0-2 on Trace Wilhoit. So the Bison's doing all their damage in this 5th inning after 2 were out. So credit them for piecing together those good at-bats and 4 base hits back-to-back. And Will Hoyt's down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Fastball stays just high. Good spot there, but he didn't chase, and it'll be a ball and 2 strikes. So 1 ball, 2 strikes on Will Hoyt. Shields would be on deck, or is on deck rather, to extend if the inning continues. Wilkinson's now thrown 36 pitches in 1 1/3 innings. Here comes his 1-2 offering to Will Hoyt, and that's breaking ball that misses down. Smith kept it in front of him and blocked it, so it's 2-2. Balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. And that one's right through there, strike 3, and he knew it. So a good pitch there, and once again, Will Hoyt will be the 3rd out of the inning. But the Bisons have a very productive inning again. They score 4 runs on 5 hits. There were no errors, and they did leave 2 more on base. They've stranded 5, but they've pushed 13 across, and they head to the 6th inning with your score, Lipscomb 13 and Bellarmine nothing. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the top of the 6th inning. Lipscomb leading Bellarmine 13-0. Michael Dunkelberger back out on the mound. He'll face the top of the order, Higgins, Smith, and Mulkey. Dunkelberger's gone all the way. 5 innings. He's given up just 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts, and just 54 pitches to get through those first 5 innings. He's been very, very efficient out there on the mound. But here's the dangerous Matt Higgins. He's 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice, batting .368 on the season, and that's going to hit him. Breaking ball that just did not have any bite to it there, and so be the first hit by pitch, and that'll be 2 innings in a row that the Knights have their leadoff hitter aboard. They got their leadoff hitter aboard in the 4th, but he was stranded. And that'll bring up Ashton Smith. Smith is also grounded out twice on the night, once to first and once to second. Smith batting .364 on the season. Doesn't have a home run. He's got 11 RBIs. Came in with just 44 at-bats, but swinging it well, and he's in there at catcher tonight. So Smith bats with a runner at first. Standard defensive alignment for the Bisons here. They're double play depth up the middle, and he starts him off with a fastball that he hits foul as he swung late and hit that one off to the right side. 0-1. So the Bellarmine Knights, they're in their 2nd season as a Division I program. They were an outstanding Division II program prior to joining the A-Sun back in 2021. That one's going to miss, and it'll even the count at a ball and a strike. We mentioned Coach Larry Owens in his 9th season, and prior to joining the A-Sun back in 2019, they won the Great Lakes Valley Conference Tournament, and they had 3 straight NCAA Division II tournament appearances, 2017, 18, and 19. That one's going to bounce up there. Bertolani keeps it in front of him. It'll be 2 balls and 1 strike. Back in 2018, there was a program record of 38 wins for the Knights. So they won 34 games in 2017, 38 in 2018, and 34 again in 2019. They were off to a 10-4 start in 2020 when the season was shut down due to the COVID pandemic. Here's the 2-1, and that's a base hit into right field as he hit it just off the end of the bat, but because of the shift, Stamps was pulled over and could not get there. So that'll be the third base hit of the night for the Knights, and they've got runners first and second and nobody out for Jacob Mulkey. Mulkey has singled and walked 1 for 1 on the night, been on base twice. And Coach Owens came to Bellarmine after having been in professional baseball. He'd been a minor league pitching coach with the Chicago White Sox for 7 years. He had also worked prior to that in a couple of college baseball jobs we'll tell you about here in a moment. There's a breaking ball in there for a strike, 0-1. He was at the University of Memphis 2001 to 2004, and then was 2 seasons pitching coach at University of Louisville and then at Austin Peay. So a lot of college experience, went to pro ball, and then came back and joined Bellarmine and had an outstanding Division II program and helping them make the transition now to Division I. The 0-1 pitch is hit foul. That was an inside fastball, and it's 0-2 to Jacob Mulkey. Coach Owens actually played at Bellarmine for 1 season and was a teammate of their current athletics director, Scott Wiegand. Then he transferred to Division II Vincennes University, where he helped that team advance all the way to the Division II World Series. So Coach Owens, a lot of experience as a hitter and as a coach, and that's a ball hit to Malik Williams, and he's going to throw to second to retire the runner there on the fielder's choice. So that'll be a fielder's choice, score at 3-6, and that'll be the first out of the inning. That'll allow Higgins to run over to third. That'll put runners on the corners with 1 out for Davis Crane. Crane has flied out to left, and he's flied out to center. So first and third here with 1 out. Davis Crane batting. Last year the Knights were 13-36 with an 8-16 ASUN record. Again, that was their first season in Division I ball. They come in 10-33 this year and a 7-14 record. But you can see the talent level of this team rising up and bright future ahead. That pitch is going to stay inside and high, and it'll be ball 1. After this series, the Knights have a tall task in front of them as they play at Tennessee on Tuesday night. That'll be number 1 ranked Tennessee. Here's the 1-0 pitch, hit in the air to left field, way back. Going to the warning track is Rudy Maxwell, and that's going to be gone. That's a 3-run home run for Davis Crane. He hit that ball well, and again, it got up in that wind that's blowing out towards left field. And Davis Crane has put the Knights on the board with their first 3 runs of the night. And just like that, our score moves to 13-3. So Davis Crane will hit just his 4th home run of the season, and that'll give him 20 RBIs on the season. And so an outside fastball that he went with, Maxwell drifted back, but again, the wind's blowing out pretty heavily to left field, and he gave a valiant attempt, but that one got out. So it's 13-3. It's 1 out, and the base is empty now, and Clayton Melbauer's up. He's grounded out and struck out. And that's hit on the ground towards Will Hoyt. He gloves it, picks it up, throws on to first, and that'll be the 2nd out of the inning. So first pitch swinging is Melbauer. And that'll be 2 outs, and that'll bring up Peyton Back. Back has singled and flied out in his 2 plate appearances tonight. So we mentioned that the Knights play at Tennessee Tuesday night. Then next weekend they're at North Alabama for 3. They host Western Kentucky in their final midweek, and then they close with Jacksonville State, who will come to Bellarmine to close out the regular season. Hit on the ground to Ketchup. He throws, and that's going to get by Malik Williams as he tried to scoop that one up and couldn't get it. I suspect they'll score that as an error on the throw, and they have indeed given him an error. So that'll go as an error to Ketchup, and that'll put Back aboard with 2 outs and bring up Jack Ackerman, the center fielder, who has flied out and struck out. Ketchup fielded that ball. He looped it over there, and it hit the dirt, and Malik Williams couldn't come up with it. So most productive inning so far for the Knights, as they've got 2 of their 4 hits here in this inning. And Ackerman will bat with 2 outs and a runner at first, and he swings late and fouls that one off his fist back to the screen. 0-1. Bisons jumped out early in this one. They scored 1 run in the first. They added 4 more in the third, 4 in the fourth, 4 in the fifth. The Knights have tallied 3 back here in this inning, and that's how we got to our 13-3 score in the top of the 6th. The 0-1 pitch is also hit foul. Swung late again and hit that off to the right side, and so it'll be no balls and 2 strikes. Gabe Bertetic, the designated hitter, waits on deck if Ackerman extend the inning here. Despite all the activity this inning, it's still been a fairly efficient inning for Dunkelberger. He's only up to 66 pitches here as he works with 2 outs in the top of the 6th. That one misses downstairs with the breaking ball. It'll be a ball and 2 strikes. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner at first, top of the 6th inning. And he swings and fouls that back again. So Ackerman keeps fighting it off and staying alive. Ackerman, a 5'11", 178-pound redshirt senior out of Versailles, Kentucky, previously played at the Citadel. That one bounces up there, and Bertolani blocks it again, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mentioned the home run ball. Bellarmine hit 48 home runs last season, which was actually second in the A-Sun, second only to Liberty, even though they played 8 fewer games. So this is a team that has some guys that can swing the bat. Soft ground ball is going to be a tough play. Ketchup's going to glove it, throw to first, and not in time. So tough play there for Ketchup. That one was hit off the end of the bat. He was playing deep, came in and made a excellent play on the run and through, but Ackerman beat it out. So that'll go as an infield base hit. That'll put runners on first and second now with 2 outs. That'll be the 3rd hit of the inning and the 5th hit overall for the Knights. And Gabe Bertetic will stand in there. Bertetic has struck out and grounded out. See a little bit of activity down in the Lipscomb bullpen, but mostly some guys that are just stretching and moving around. Nobody actively throwing yet. Again, Dunkelberger's pitch count is not very elevated so far. So 2 outs, 2 on. And that's hammered towards the hole. Diving stop by Wilhoit. Gets to his feet, throws to first. Terrific play there by Trace Wilhoit. Excellent play as he dove to his left, gloved it, popped up to his feet, and made a strong throw to first base for the 3rd out of the inning to retire Bertetic. But the Knights do get on the board. They score 3 runs courtesy of 3 base hits. They strand 2 runners. They have stranded 5 on the night. And we head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Your new score, Lipscomb 13. And Bellarmine 3. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the home half of the 6th inning. We've got a new pitcher on the mound for the Bellarmine Knights. He is the sophomore right-hander Cody Medley, 6'1", 200-pounder out of New Albany, Indiana. Medley is making just his 6th appearance on the season. He's worked 5 innings, given up 12 hits, 9 runs, 9 earned, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Opponents batting .500 against him. He's got a record of no wins and 1 loss. And he will face 7, 8, and 9, John Shields, Ethan Stamps, and Chaz Bertolani, the Schedule 3 here for the Bisons, who lead 13-3 in the bottom half of inning number 6. So Burr started, Wilkinson came in the 4th, and now Medley will be on for the Knights. And he hits the first pitch on the ground, does Shields to second base, and 1 pitch and 1 out. As Shields will be retired 4-3. So you can close the book on Wilkinson. He goes 1 2/3 innings, gives up 6 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Again, Burr started, went 3 1/3, 7 hits, 9 runs, 8 earned, 2 walks and 6 strikeouts. And now Medley is on. Standing in the box will be Ethan Stamps. He's struck out, hit a solo home run, and hit into a fielder's choice. So he is 1 for 3 on the night with an RBI, average at .250 on the season. Solo shot by Stamps back in the 4th inning, went out over the right field wall, and that's a breaking ball that'll miss downstairs for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes on Stamps. Ethan playing second base tonight. The sophomore out of Madison, Georgia, 5'9" and 215 pounds, and that one's going to miss off the plate, and it'll be 2 balls and no strikes. Same 2 teams tomorrow. Again, 6 p.m. Central start time. We'll be on the air at approximately 5:55 Central time for those of you joining us on YouTube Live. It is graduation day, and the Bisons have a number of young men who will be getting their degrees tomorrow. That'll be happening during the day, and that's going to miss high and inside, and he's run the count to 3 balls and no strikes on Ethan Stamps. So 3 balls, no strikes on Stamps with Bertolani waiting on deck. 3-0 pitch he's taking, and that's going to be ball 4. Well, I thought it was ball 4. I believe it is ball 4. It looks like it might have caught a piece of the home plate umpire, Creel Waddell, as I see a couple of trainers coming out to him, and he's shaking his head a bit. So I think that bounced off the catcher's glove and struck him in the head, and so he's going to take a moment to settle himself. As he does, it'll give us a chance to go back and update our ASUN scoreboard and also our area team. So on the ASUN scoreboard again, Liberty has beaten Jacksonville State 7-5. North Florida beat Stetson 8-4. Central Arkansas beat North Alabama 18-9 today. Other scores involving area teams. Middle Tennessee is tied up now with Florida International 4-4. They're in the top of the 9th in that game that is in Florida. Belmont has beaten Tennessee Martin 8-1. Austin Peay's leading Murray State 8-3, and Kentucky is once again leading number 1 ranked Tennessee 3-2, the top of the 6th. Again, the Wildcats beat the Volunteers last night in 13 innings as former Lipscomb pitcher Tyler Guilfoyle with 6 strong innings of relief and got the victory in that game. So 3-2 Kentucky on top of Tennessee tonight. It would be the first time all season Tennessee to lose back-to-back games if they can indeed hold on there. So our situation now is a runner at first base. That's Ethan Stamps. Chaz Bertolani stands in. And he looks at a pitch on the extended outside corner for strike 1. Chaz doubled back in the 3rd. He singled in the 4th, scored both times, and then he flew out to deep center field in the 5th. So Chaz is seeing it well here on this Friday night at Ken Dugan Field. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. That's going to miss high, and the count will be a ball and a strike. Again, no real activity down in the Bison's bullpen. A whole lot of guys huddled up and telling stories on the bench. Nobody throwing, as Dunkelberger has been in command pretty much all throughout here in this one. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out as Bertolani waits. That one's going to miss inside. It'll get away from the catcher Smith, but not far enough to advance the runner, so it'll be 2 balls and a strike. Top of the order, Caleb Ketchup waits on deck. We mentioned the Bisons. They'd won 7 out of 10 coming in. Took 2 out of 3 against Central Arkansas last weekend. So they have been playing well as of late, have the Bisons. And that one's going to be outside, and it'll be 3-1 on Chaz Bertolani. Bisons also have won 13 of their last 16 ASUN games. They dropped the first 5 in a row to start the season, 0-5 in conference, and have come back and been 13-3 since then. So a real turnaround for the Bisons. That one almost hit him. So back-to-back walks now for Cody Medley. That'll put runners on first and second, and we're back to the top of the order for Caleb Ketchup, who's had a big night. He's batted 4 times. He's been on base for 4 times, and that's courtesy of 2 walks, reaching on an error, and a base hit. He has scored every time he has been on base. So 4 runs scored on the night, 1 for 2, and his average is up to 265. On base percentage, 369 for Caleb Ketchup. So Stamps your runner at second, Bertolani your runner at first, 1 out. We're in the bottom of the 6th, and Lipscomb leads Bellarmine 13-3, and that pitch will stay high. 4-1 against Caleb Ketchup. New team for Lipscomb this year. 23 newcomers have come in, either by way of transfer or freshman. They have 17 transfers, 7 of which came from D1 programs, 10 of which came from the JUCO ranks. So a very new roster. And again, got off to a bit of a slow start in conference play and has come on since then. With red hot months of April and so far in May. That's 2 balls and no strikes to Ketchup. Maddox Houghton waits on deck. That'll miss inside. I thought he was going to call it a strike, but he doesn't. And so Medley's in danger of walking the bases loaded, which is what you don't want to see as a relief pitcher coming in here. That's been the Achilles heel for this Bellarmine club. They come in with a team ERA of 7.04, and that one's going to be on the outside corner for a strike. I mentioned they're batting .269 and have 43 home runs. Both of those marks are fairly similar to the Bisons, who came in batting .265 as a team with 45 home runs. But the Bisons' team ERA 4.67, and so the difference has really been on the mound for these 2 teams. 3-1 pitch hammered down the left field line. That's going to be foul, but Ketchup saw that one up in his eyes, and he turned on it and ripped it down the line. So it'll be 3 balls and 2 strikes to Ketchup. And we'll see if the runners start in motion here. Again, 10-run lead, so they might not. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runners first and second. And here comes the payoff pitch, and he hits that on the ground to third. It's bobbled. It's actually off the glove, and no play is going to be able to be made as it kicked off the glove of back and was picked up by the shortstop Melbauer. We'll see how they score that. It was a hard hit ball. I think with a clean play, I don't know if he would have turned 2, and they are going to call that an error. So Ketchup is going to reach via the error for the 2nd time tonight. That'll load the bases for Maddox Houghton. And again, if you joined us late, Maddox Houghton did receive the Ken Dugan Award prior to tonight's game as the essentially most valuable player, but really more than just player. It's an overall award for character, scholarship, and excellence in all areas of life. And Maddox Houghton is the 2022 recipient. And a most deserving one. A fine 5th-year player here is Maddox Houghton. He's out of Dalton, Georgia, and he's been an integral part of this Bison's program for a very long time and a real fixture. Also an outstanding student in the classroom, pursuing a graduate degree. And he hammers this one to deep left field, going back as Higgins, still going back. He's at the wall. He looks up and gloves it just short of the fence. Tagging at third and coming in to score will be Stamps, and Maddox Houghton also almost had a grand slam there. Instead, he'll have to settle for a sacrifice fly that will drive in the 14th run of the night for the Bisons. And so it'll be an RBI for Houghton, and he missed a grand slam there by about 2 feet. He really hit that ball hard. Both runners tag up in advance, so Ketchup will get to second. Bertolani will go to third, and now with 2 outs, Mason Lundgren will bat. Lundgren had a sac fly way back in the first with an RBI. He struck out in the third. He reached on an error in the 4th, and he singled and scored a run in the 5th. So he's 1 for 3 on the night with 2 RBIs. Again, Houghton hit that well. I thought it might get out, but the wind has actually settled down. The flag is hanging fairly limply now. It's been blowing out pretty hard to left field all night, but that one did not get much help. And Higgins, who's an excellent defensive outfielder in left field, went all the way back, gloved it just shy of the wall. And so Houghton a couple of feet away from a grand slam that would have been a memorable part of his night. But nonetheless, another run for the Bisons. They get their 14th run of the night, and they've got runners at second and third with 2 outs. And Lundgren's going to take a breaking ball downstairs for a strike. No ball and 1 strike. Maddox Houghton over the last 10 games have been batting .421, so he's been red hot as well. Really seeing the ball well here in the late part of the season. Off-speed pitch, and that'll catch the outside corner as well. And so Lundgren finds himself in a no-ball 2-strike hole. Playing in the bottom of the 6th inning, Lipscomb is leading 14-3 over Bellarmine in game 1 of a 3-game series in this ASUN conference action. Here comes the 0-2 pitch, and he taps it just in front of the mound. Going to be a tough play, going to be fielded and bobbled there as Medley cannot throw him out, and that'll allow the 15th run of the night to score. I think that's going to go down probably as an error as well. We'll wait. Actually, they're going to call that an infield hit. All right, Mason Lundgren will take that because that's going to give him an RBI. It'll be the 14th hit of the night for the Bisons as Bertolani jogs in to score. Heading over to third is Ketchup. And that'll bring up Malik Williams. He's also had a big night. He's had a 3-run home run. He's singled and driven in a run. He's also singled again and driven in a run, and he struck out swinging. So 3 for 4 on the night, 5 RBIs, and that one's going to be on the outside corner. And it'll be no balls and 1 strike to Malik. Bisons only have 1 base hit in the inning, and that was the one that you just saw from Lundgren. They do have a couple of walks and a runner who reached on an error, as well as that sacrifice fly. So just 1 hit. But 2 runs, and Malik Williams just swung out of his shoes at that one, didn't get it, and it's 0-2. So runners on the corners. Lundgren, your runner at first. Ketchup, your runner at third. This would end Ketchup's streak. He's batted 4 times, been on base 4 times, and scored 4 runs, and he's trying to make it 5, but Malik Williams is in an 0-2 hole here. Long hold, and here comes the pitch, and that's a curveball that stays high. And it'll be a ball and 2 strikes to Malik Williams. Rudy Maxwell would be on, or is on deck, and would bat if Williams can reach. Bison's now 15 runs on 14 hits. Big offensive explosion here tonight. Here's the 1-2, and he swung through the off-speed pitch there for strike 3. So Malik Williams goes down on strikes, 2nd time tonight that he's been a strikeout victim. The Bisons will end up stranding 2 in the inning, and they have stranded a total of 7 tonight, but they pick up 2 more runs courtesy of 1 hit. There was 1 error, and there have been 3 errors now tonight from Bellarmine. So we've completed 6 innings. Your score, Lipscomb 15 and Bellarmine 3. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the top of the 7th inning. Lipscomb has 15 runs on 14 hits. They have committed 1 error. Bellarmine has 3 runs on 6 hits, and they've committed 3 errors. And Michael Dunkelberger back out on the mound for the Bisons. He's gone 6 innings, 5 hits. He's given up 3 runs, 3 earned, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, 73 pitches so far. for Dunkelberger, and he faces Colin Birch to start things off in the top of the 7th. He hits a slow roller foul down the third base line, 0-1. Birch has grounded out and flied out. He's only batted twice. Batting .259 now on the season is Colin Birch. And the Bisons, and they're leading after 6 innings. They have a record of 20 wins and 1 loss on the season. They've been very effective. That's hit high in the air to shallow right field, drifting over is Houghton and Shields. Shields going to call him off, and he'll glove it for the first out of the inning. So Colin Birch will be retired, and we're back to the top of the order and Matt Higgins. And Higgins has had a quiet night by his standards. Grounded out twice and hit by a pitch. He did score a run on, as he was on base when the home run happened last inning, back in the 6th inning. But Higgins, an outstanding player. We mentioned he came in team's leading hitter. He's batting .368, and he has hit 19 home runs on the season, and he hits that one foul and out of play to the left side, 0-1. Higgins was an all-ASUN Conference preseason selection. He also was the co-MVP of the Northwoods League last summer, one of the best college wood bat leagues, and he was the co-MVP playing for the Mankato Moondogs. And he ended up batting .339 over 63 games. He tries to check his swing but can't, and he's in the hole, no balls and 2 strikes. So Higgins, as we mentioned already, now the single season and program home run leader. He's also the reigning ASUN Player of the Week. 2nd time this season he's done it. Last weekend against Eastern Kentucky, he batted .556. And he is going to be recorded as a strikeout, as Bertolani will throw that one down to first base. So Dunkelberger's really had the number of Higgins tonight. He's retired him 3 times and then allowed him to reach via a hit by pitch. So that's 2 quick outs for Dunkelberger here in the 7th, and that'll bring up Ashton Smith, who's grounded out twice and singled. He's got one of the 5 hits Bellarmine has. I incorrectly stated they have 6. They have 5 hits on the night, does Bellarmine. 2 outs, nobody aboard. That's a fastball that'll stay away. 1 ball, no strikes. Dunkelberger would be in line to get his 7th win of the season, which again would lead the ASUN Conference if he is able to indeed hold on to that. 4th in the ASUN with a 2.47 ERA coming in. Swing and a miss there, and it'll be a ball and a strike. So he has really solidified this Friday night role for the Bisons and continues to pitch very effectively. That's a fastball that'll stay high, and it'll be 2 balls and 1 strike. Same 2 teams tomorrow, 6 p.m. start. We're expecting Colin Witzke for the Bisons and Nolan Pender for the Knights. And Sunday is a 1 p.m. Central start. Ike Buxton for the Bisons, Gavin Braunecker for the Knights. That's hammered foul, and it'll even the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 to Smith. Starting to see a little bit of activity down in the Bison's bullpen, a few people moving around and stretching and so forth. Again, we have Dunkelberger at just 78 pitches, so he's been very efficient here tonight. Here comes the 2-2, and he swung through it for strike 3. So 2 strikeouts in the inning for Michael Dunkelberger, and that gives him 5 on the evening. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for the Bisons in the top of the 7th. We head to the 7th inning stretch. Your score, Lipscomb 15 and Bellarmine 3. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons baseball on YouTube Live. Seventh inning stretch is in the books, and we head to the bottom of the seventh. It's Rudy Maxwell, Trace Wilhoit, and John Shields, who will be facing Cody Medley back out for his second inning of work. Did give up 2 runs, just 1 earned run, walked 2 and struck out 1 back in the 6th. And Rudy Maxwell 2 for 4 on the night. He's grounded out, hit a solo home run, flied out, and singled. So we got 2 RBIs on the evening. That one almost hit him, stayed inside for ball 1. Rudy now hitting .287 on the season. He's got 7 home runs and 35 RBIs. Playing in left field pretty much exclusively now. He had done some catching back earlier in the season, but mostly playing as the day-to-day left fielder for the Bisons. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. That's going to stay outside and high, and it'll be 2 balls and no strikes. And they're going to continue to shift as the second baseman Birch is going to swing way around now. Each pitch he's moved a little further to his right, and he's now on the third base side of second base. So Crane, the sole defender, on the first base side. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Hammered way out of here, but that's going to be foul. He sat on that fastball and hit it a mile, and it's into the parking lot by the high-rise dormitory. If you're familiar with the Lipscomb campus, that one was hit a mile. So 2-1 on Maxwell. Bisons have banged out 14 hits on the night, have 15 runs. That's an off-speed pitch that'll miss, and it'll be 3-1 now on Maxwell. No activity down in the Knights bullpen, as it looks like Medley's game for now. Seeing a little bit of stretching going on in the Bison's bullpen, but again, no one throwing at this point. Here comes the 3-1 pitch to Rudy Maxwell. Hammers that one foul. Again, fastball, and he was just sitting on that and took a big hack at it, so that'll make the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Maxwell, Wilhoit, and Shields are scheduled on these late innings, and a extended score like this, you can always see some substitutions, so we'll see where this one goes. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And the payoff, and he hits it back up the middle. Oh, that hit the pitcher, and that's going to be an infield base hit. It came off the body there of Medley. We hope he's okay. They're going to go out to check on him. I think that'll be scored a base hit, and indeed it will. So Maxwell hit that one hard. It went right back. I couldn't see quite where on the body that it hit him, but it was a base hit, and hopefully Medley is okay, and he tells the training staff that he's going to be okay. So that one's going to probably leave a mark and need some ice on it, I would think. But he's going to try to shake it off and stay out there. So tip your cap to the youngster showing some toughness there, but Rudy Maxwell is on at first base. And that'll bring up Trace Wilhoit. He is the only Bison that hasn't been on base tonight. He struck out twice and grounded out and flied out, so 0 for 4 on the night for Trace. And he'd love to have a chance to get himself untracked here a little bit. Again, he's tied for the team lead in home runs with 9. Malik Williams hit his 9th homer earlier in the game tonight. Seems like a long time ago as this game's been going on now. We're about 2 hours and 17 minutes into it, but been a productive night for the Bisons here. That one's going to miss high, and that'll be 1 ball and no strikes to Trace Wilhoit. Bisons jumped out early. They scored a single run in the first. Neither team scored in the second, and then 4 in the third, 4 in the fourth, 4 in the fifth. Bellarmine got 3 back in the 6th. The Bisons added 2 more, and that's where we are, 15-3 as we play here in the bottom of the 7th inning. That one's hammered down the left field line. That's going to get down for a base hit. Maxwell's going to round third, and he's going to head towards third. Wilhoit's going to keep running, and he's going to be at second. And Wilhoit has indeed found his first base hit of the night as he doubles, and the Bisons have a threat going again here. That'll be 2 base hits in the inning for the Bisons, back-to-back with Maxwell and Wilhoit, and John Shields comes up, and Shields has struck out twice, singled and grounded out, and nope, we're going to have a pinch hitter. This looks like number 4, Cam McMillan, who is going to come up. So Cam McMillan is going to bat for John Shields. As we mentioned, we thought we might start to see some substitutions here, and we do indeed. So McMillan will bat. We'll get you his stats in just a moment here. And he tries to check his swing. Did he do so? They're going to say that he did not, and so that'll be a strike on Cam. McMillan's got just 22 at-bats on the season. He's got 3 hits and 22 trips, batting .136. Does have 2 home runs and 5 RBIs, and I believe, if I recall, one of those home runs was hit against Bellarmine in that series back in early April. So runner second and third, nobody out. Checks his swing again. Did not go that time, and that one's going to miss downstairs, so it'll be a ball and a strike on Cam McMillan. McMillan, a redshirt junior. He's 6'5", 225. Kansas City, Missouri is home for him. He's previously played at Vanderbilt, at Houston, and at John Logan. First year here in the Bison's program. That one's going to miss downstairs as well, so it'll be 2 balls and 1 strike on Cam McMillan. So 2 balls and a strike. Maxwell is your runner at third. Will Hoyt running at second. Here's the 2-1. Swung on and hit down the line to third base. It's bobbled by back. He's going to pick it up and throw, and he will record the out, but McMillan will drive in the run. The 16th run of the night will come home as Rudy Maxwell will score on that RBI ground out from Cam McMillan. So McMillan is retired 5-3. He'll get credit for that RBI. Maxwell will score. Will Hoyt held up at second base since the ball was hit in front of him, and that brings Ethan Stamps to the plate. Stamps has a solo shot tonight. He's also struck out, hit into a fielder's choice, walked, and scored a run. So Stamps 1 for 3, 2 runs scored, an RBI. He's up to 250 on the season with 5 home runs. And he hits this high in the air, first pitch swinging. It's going to stay on the infield, and everybody's converging around the mound, and calling for it will be the shortstop Melbauer, and he'll glove it. And that'll be the second out of the inning. So Stamps pops out to short, and Bertolani will head up to the plate. Chaz has had an excellent night. He has doubled, singled, flied out, and walked. So 2 for 3 overall, 3 runs scored, and he bats now with 2 outs and a runner at second. Bison's leading 16-3. And Bertolani swings and fouls this one off to the right side. No balls and 1 strike. So we mentioned the Bison's back in action here tomorrow and Sunday. Then they'll be crosstown playing Belmont on Tuesday, 5 p.m. Central start. That'll be the second installment of the Battle of the Boulevard. Belmont captured the first installment 5-1 back on March the 2nd, way back. And Belmont's pieced together a very nice season in the OVC. That's a breaking ball that'll miss downstairs. It'll be a ball and a strike. After that Tuesday game, the Bisons are on the road next weekend. They're at Eastern Kentucky for 3 games, 1 each on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then there's no midweek game, and they're back home to finish the season hosting North Alabama. That'll be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday matchup on the 19th, 20th, and 21st of May. And that's a breaking ball hit foul to the right side. And it'll be a ball and 2 strikes on Chaz Bertolani. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Trace Wilhoit is running at second. He had a double in this inning, which is the 16th Bison's hit on the night. They've got 16 runs on those 16 hits, and it's a 1 ball, 2 strike count on Chaz Bertolani, top of the order. And Caleb Ketchup would be next if Bertolani can extend this one. Here's the 1-2, swung on and again hit foul. That was a breaking ball. Cody Medley is working in his second inning of work. Again, Drew Burr started, went 3 1/3. Joe Wilkinson went 1 2/3, and Medley now 1 2/3. He's given up 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout. And here comes the 1-2 pitch to Chaz Bertolani. Breaking ball stays way high. Smith has to jump up and glove that one. It'll be 2 balls, 2 strikes. Leadoff man Ketchup is on deck. And someone's throwing down in the Bison's bullpen. We'll try to get a number on who that is. I still see Dunkelberger in the dugout, so I'm not sure if he'll be coming back out or not, but we'll keep an eye on that. First, a 2-2 pitch to Chaz Bertolani. Swung on and hit foul and out of play again. He stayed a breaking ball, which has kind of stayed up high, but Bertolani keeps spoiling it and fouling it off. And he'll stay alive at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Looks like a right-hander throwing down there for the Bisons, but it just can't get a number from our vantage point, so we'll keep an eye on that. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Will hoist your runner at second, and we get set to do it again as Cody Medley will pitch to Chaz Bertolani. That one misses downstairs. Breaking ball stayed inside, and he has worked the count full, has Chaz Bertolani. 4th ever series meeting between Bellarmine and Lipscomb. Last year, the Bisons lead 7-2 overall in the series. They took all 3 games earlier this year, and they took 2 of 3 in both of the series back in 2021. Here comes the payoff pitch, and he hits it high in the air. This one's going to stay in the infield as well. Mel Bauer, the shortstop, is going to call for it, and he will glove it for the 3rd out of the inning. But the Bisons do score 1 more run, courtesy of 2 hits. They do strand a runner, and they've stranded a total of 8 on the night, but we have completed 7 innings, and here's your new score. Lipscomb 16 and Bellarmine 3. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the top of the 8th inning. Your line score, Lipscomb 16 runs, 16 hits, 1 error. Bellarmine 3 runs, 5 hits, and 3 errors. And back out on the mound is Michael Dunkelberger. He's gone all the way for the Bison. 7 innings. He's given up 5 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. He's thrown just 83 pitches. And he'll be facing 3, 4, and 5 for the Knights of Bellarmine. Jacob Mulkey, Davis Crane, and Clayton Melbauer are scheduled, and Mulkey will start things off. And he looks at a fastball that's going to miss down and in, ball 1. Mulkey 1 for 2 on the night. He scored a run. He singled way back in the first, walked, reached on a walk, and reached on a fielder's choice. And that's an off-speed pitch that'll stay downstairs as well. 2 balls, no strikes. Still seeing a little bit of activity down in the Bison's bullpen. There's a right-hander throwing that we haven't gotten a number on yet, but somebody's loosening lightly down there. That's the only activity we see. Nothing happening in the Knights bullpen right now as they will try to finish this one off without getting deeper into their bullpen as the Bisons are in command here. Here comes the 2-0 from Dunkelberger, and that's going to miss inside and low. It's 3-0, so Dunkelberger falls behind. Again, he's gone all the way and would be in line for his 7th win, which would lead the ASUN Conference in wins on the season. Here's the 3-0, and that's the automatic one through there. Mulkey tried to sell it. It was a little high, but home plate umpire Creel Waddell says, nope, that one's going to be registered as a strike. So 3 balls, 1 strike to Jacob Mulkey. That one's going to catch inside corner also, 3-2. And that's that inside fastball that he has used very, very effectively tonight. So he's run the count full now after falling behind 3-0. Here's the payoff. Swings and taps it foul. That'll keep the count at 3-2. So we mentioned graduation ceremonies here at Lipscomb tomorrow. That'll be over in the Allen Arena tomorrow afternoon. Bisons have a number of young men who are graduating. So tomorrow's ball game will be a 6 p.m. Central Time start. We'll be on the air at about 5:55 p.m. Central. Swung on and hit down the right field line. That's slicing foul. It's hit into the corner. It was hit well. Cam McMillan, who's in right field now, gave chase, but it will land foul, and the count will remain 3-2. So McMillan has come in the game. He's playing right field for Shields. Otherwise, the Bisons, same defensive alignment. Maxwell's in center. Maxwell in left, Houghton in center. Will Hoyt's at third. Ketchup at short. Stamps at second. Malik Williams at first. And Bertolani behind the plate. And that's a curveball that doesn't bite, and it stays high and away. So that'll be ball 4. That'll be just the second walk of the night for Dunkelberger. And that'll put the leadoff man aboard with nobody out for Davis Crane. Crane has flied out twice and hit a 3-run home run in his last at-bat. So 1 for 3 on the night with those 3 RBIs. His average is up to 291 on the season. He's got 4 homers now. And I have to think this might be the last batter for Dunkelberger with the left-on-left matchup. That's another curveball that stays high. It'll be a ball and no strikes. Dunkelberger once again has pitched very, very effectively tonight, as he has in most of his starts this season. That one's going to be a breaking ball that'll stay downstairs. 0-1. His last 5 starts, he's gone either 6 or 7 innings in all of those. Those are all conference starts on a Friday night. And his pitch counts have ranged anywhere from 86 to 117. He's currently at 91 pitches on the night. And he swings and taps that one towards first base. Malik Williams is going to glove it, and he's going to go over and touch the bag. So that'll be a fielder's choice to retire Crane for the first out of the inning. That'll allow Mulkey to advance to second. Be 3 unassisted there. And that'll bring Clayton Melbauer to the plate. And Melbauer is 0 for 3 on the night. He's grounded out twice and struck out once. So Melky, your runner at second. It looks like they're going to stay with Dunkelberger here to pitch to the righty Melbauer. And fastball in the outside corner. Good movement there. A little bit of arm side run. 0-1 to Melbauer. So that's that outside pitch that Dunkelberger tends to run over the plate and move to the arm side. And then we mentioned that inside pitch that he'll come into both righties and lefties with. So no balls and 1 strike on Clayton Melbauer. And there's the inside pitch, and that's a perfect compliment. You just saw in 2 pitches exactly what Michael Dunkelberger wants to do. First pitch, fastball on the outside corner, where he really ran it away from him. Second pitch, inside fastball, and he's got him in an 0-2 count. So beautiful combination. That's what makes Dunkelberger so tough out there on the mound. He's got him 0-2. We'll see how he elects to pitch him here. It's again, fastball and outside corner, strike 3. Terrific sequence of pitches there. Called strikeout, second out of the inning, and Dunkelberger now with his 6th K of the night. And it'll be up to Peyton Back to try to extend the inning. Peyton Back has singled, reached on an error, and flied out. 1 for 3 on the night, 267 on the season. And that was just a terrific sequence of pitches there from Dunkelberger. We'll see if he stays with that fastball here to Back. He hits that inside corner, and that is fouled off his foot, and so it'll be 0-1. So really effective location. When you can take that fastball and locate it to both sides of the plate, mix in some of those off speeds that we saw earlier. That is why Michael Dunkelberger has been such an effective starter this year. Again, 6-2 coming in, 2.47 ERA, 10th start of the season, and it has been a dandy. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. That's that inside fastball again, and he hits it foul, and again, he's got him in a no-ball, 2-strike count. So no balls, 2 strikes. Dunkelberger, 97 pitches now, 68 of which have been for strikes on the night, so he has been very effective in filling up the zone. And here comes his 0-2 pitch. Outside fastball, and that one's going to be hit foul and out of play. That'll keep the count 0-2. Again, as we mentioned, all the ASUN teams in action today, and we'll update you on where those results are here as we get a chance. First, we await the 0-2 pitch. And that's hit on the ground towards Ketchup. He's going to glove it a couple steps to his left, throw on to first. And that'll be the third out of the inning. And so nothing doing for the Knights here in the bottom of the 8th. They do strand a runner. They've now left 6 on base through these 8 innings. And we head to the bottom half of the 8th. Your score, Lipscomb 16 and Bellarmine 3. You're watching Lipscomb Bison's Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the home half of the 8th inning, and Lipscomb will send up the top of the order, Ketchup, Houghton, and Lundgren to face Cody Medley. He's back in there working in his 3rd inning of work, and Caleb Ketchup has had a big night. He's been to the plate 5 times. 2 of those he's reached on an error. He's also walked twice and doubled with an RBI. Scored 4 runs on the night. Got all the way to third base in his last at-bat and couldn't get in. So 4 runs out of 5 plate appearances for the Bison's leadoff hitter, and he'll start things off here in the 8th inning against Cody Medley. And that'll miss outside for ball 1. So checking the standings here on the ASUN West Division. Eastern Kentucky is not in action today. They're playing Jacksonville tomorrow, it appears, so no activity there. So they're at 14-7, as is Jacksonville State. So those 2 teams will separate themselves in a 3-game series this weekend. That one's going to get called on the inside corner, extended. That'll be a ball and a strike. Central Arkansas has defeated North Alabama 18-9, so they're 14-8 on the season. Lipscomb, if they were to hang on this win, would also move to 14-8, and so they would each be a half game behind Eastern Kentucky and Jacksonville. Caleb Ketchup hits that high in the air to center field. Ackerman's going back, still going back, looks up and gone! Home run, Caleb Ketchup. Caleb Ketchup has his 5th home run of the season as he hit that one out to deep left center field. That was a towering fly ball that looked like it was potentially going to have a chance to get caught, but it kept going, and he has had himself quite a night. Caleb Ketchup gives the Bisons their 17th run of the night. They're up 17-3, and here comes Maddox Houghton. He had a base hit bunt in the 1st, a sacrifice bunt in the 3rd. He walked and scored in the 4th. Had an RBI base hit in the 5th and an RBI sacrifice fly in the 6th inning, and he took a strike there, and it's 0-1 on Maddox Houghton. And he hits this one high in the air off to the right side. I think it's going to make the seats, and it does, so it'll be no balls and 2 strikes. So, again, we gave you the top 4 teams in the West Division. Bellarmine's going to fall to 7-15, barring a giant rally here in the 9th inning, and then North Alabama is at 2-20 in the West. On the East, Liberty has defeated Jacksonville 7-5. They're now 15-7 on the season. Kennesaw State did not play today. They're 14-7. They'll play Florida Gulf Coast tomorrow. And Maddox Houghton's going to be retired on the strikeout there. Florida Gulf Coast, as we mentioned, will be playing Kennesaw tomorrow. They're at 12-9. Jacksonville lost to Liberty today. They're 9-13. North Florida defeated Stetson today So they're at 9 and 13, and Stetson 6 and 16, bringing up the rear on the east side. Those are your ASUN conference standings. One out now, and Mason Lundgren. Actually, no, we're going to have a pinch hitter for Lundgren. And I believe this is going to be David Coppage batting. And it is indeed number 2, David Coppage. So Coppage will hit for Lundgren here. Coppage, the transfer from Virginia, has had 58 at-bats on the season, 10 hits, 1 home run and 5 RBI. So David Coppage gets an at-bat here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And he hammers this one into the gap in left center field. That's going to get down and head all the way to the wall. Coppage is going to round first, and he's going to head to second, and he's going to have a stand-up double. So stand-up pinch hit double for David Coppage. That'll be the 18th hit of the night for the Bisons as the hit parade continues, and Coppage delivers. And it looks like we're going to have another pinch hitter here. This is number 9, August Haymaker, coming up. He is going to bat for Malik Williams. So Haymaker will get an at-bat. Coach Forehand getting some youngsters some action tonight here in this one. Haymaker has had 18 at-bats on the season. He's got 4 hits, no homers and 2 RBIs. So Coppage, your runner at second. Haymaker will bat now with 1 out. 1 run home in the inning on the solo catch-up home run. That pitch is going to be on what I will generously call the extended outside corner. No balls and 1 strike there to Haymaker. 17-3, the strike zone tends to get a little larger, and I think we saw that there, but nothing in 1. And that's lifted high in the air on the right side. First baseman Crane's calling everybody off, and he will glove it for the second out of the inning. So Haymaker will be retired with popping out to first base, and we'll see if we've got another pinch hitter here, and I think we do. This looks like number 11, Hayden Skipper, is going to get an at-bat. So Hayden Skipper will bat in place of Rudy Maxwell. Skipper has 11 at-bats on the season, 1 hit, no homers and 2 RBI. So the left-handed hitting Skipper is going to get an at-bat. With 2 outs now, and Coppage, your runner at second. That's going to miss high, and that'll be a ball and no strikes. So 3 straight pinch hitters with Coppage, Haymaker, and now Skipper in the bottom of the 8th. Bisons lead 17-3 over Bellarmine, game 1 of a 3-game series. And he hammers that one in the dugout. Look out over there in the Bellarmine dugout. Nobody seems to be injured, so a ball and a strike. Drew Burr started. He was relieved in the 4th by Joe Wilkinson, and Cody Medley came on in the 6th and is going to be asked to finish this one out, and he's 1 out away from doing so as there's 2 outs here. With Coppage, your runner at second, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count to Hayden Skipper, and he hammers this on the ground towards first. It's going to be gloved by Crane. He's going to flip to the pitcher covering, and that's why you do all those PFPs. So a ground out, 3-1. Will retire Hayden Skipper, but the Bisons do tack on another run, courtesy of 2 hits. It was the catch-up home run that cleared the fence and added that run, and the Bison strand another runner. They have 9 stranded on the night. We've played 8 full innings, and we're headed to the 9th, and your score is Lipscomb 17 and Bellarmine 3. We'll be back to tell you about the top of the 9th after this short break. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the top of the ninth inning, and we've got a change on the mound for the Bisons. Caleb Cantola is going to come in and finish this one off. Caleb, a sophomore right-hander out of Monmouth, Oregon, 6'6", 210 pounds, making his 9th appearance on the season. He started 7 times, got a record of 1-4, 6.85 ERA, 23 2/3 innings, 22 hits, 19 runs, 18 earned, 20 walks, and 27 strikeouts. So Cantola will come in relief of Dunkelberger. You can close the book on him. We'll give you the final line in a moment, but he will be facing Jack Ackerman to start things off here. And he swings at the first pitch and hits it foul and out of play, 0-1. Ackerman is flied out, struck out, and single, 1 for 3 on the night. So Dunkelberger will go 8 innings. He'll give up 5 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Ends up throwing 101 pitches, 72 of which are strikes. And that's a breaking ball that'll miss downstairs, and it'll be a ball and a strike. So another fine outing from Dunkelberger on a Friday night. And they'll ask Cantola to bring this one home here as the Bisons lead 17-3 in the top of the 9th inning. Fastball foul straight back, and it'll be 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1 ball, 2 strikes on Ackerman. Beretic and Birch are scheduled to follow. And this is tapped past the mound. Stamps, or is that Stamps? It is him, and he's not going to be able to make the play. And it'll go as an infield base hit. So Stamps was playing deep. Weak contact, but once it got past Cantola, that was going to be a base hit. So that'll be the 6th hit of the night for the Knights, and it'll be an infield base hit. And that's 2 base hits on the night for Ackerman. And that'll bring up Gabe Bretetic. Bretetic has struck out, grounded out twice, so he's 0 for 3 on the night. And fastball right through there for strike 1. Bretetic now batting .240 on the season. Same 2 teams here tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central start. We'll be on the air 5:55 p.m. Game 2 of this 3-game series between Lipscomb and Bellarmine. We'll have it for you here on YouTube Live. Here comes the 0-1. That's also through there for a strike, 0-2. So Cantola working and getting ahead of Bretetic. And here comes the 0-2 pitch. Like a slider that missed outside. It'll be a ball and 2 strikes. So 1 ball, 2 strikes on Bretetic. Cantola's last action was way back on April the 12th when he pitched 2 2/3 inning against Middle Tennessee. So he's shaking off some rust tonight. Here comes the 1-2 and swung on and hit again weakly towards third. Will Hoyt's going to glove it, double clutches, throws to first, and he'll get an out there. So nice play by Will Hoyt. And again, weak contact off the bat. That'll go down as a fielder's choice. 5-3, first out of the inning. Ackerman will advance down to second. There are a number of defensive changes for the Bison. Skipper stays in the game to play left field. McMillan's still in right. Haymaker down at first. So your infield is Will Hoyt at third, Ketchup at short, Stamps at second, and Haymaker at first. Cantola on the mound. Bertolani still behind the plate, and this is Colin Birch. And he has flied out twice and grounded out on the night, 0 for 3. And that one's going to kick away from Bertolani and get back to the screen. It'll go down as a wild pitch, and it'll allow Ackerman to jog over to third base, and it'll be a ball. 1 ball, no strikes on Birch. Looked like that might have hit off a shin guard again and kind of ricocheted. We saw that earlier in the night as well on one of Dunkelberger's pitches. So 1 ball, no strikes on Colin Birch. Again, rain has stopped and the wind has kind of died down. So we had a lot of threatening weather earlier, and start of the game was delayed by an hour due to rain. We had the tarp on. We're able to get this one in. We're expecting better weather tomorrow. We invite you to come on out to the ballpark if you're in your area, either for tomorrow's game or the Sunday finale at 1 p.m. That's a breaking ball that'll stay high, and it'll be 2 balls and no strikes. So 2-0 on Colin Birch, top of the order, and Matt Higgins waits on deck. Here comes the 2-0 from Cantola, and did he hit that? I suppose he did not. I thought he might have gotten a piece of the bat, and they're going to ask and say, nope, it was no swing. So that's going to be a ball 3, and apparently it fooled Bertolani, got back to the screen, but no one advanced as the runner Ackerman held up at third base. I thought it might have gone off the bat, but apparently it did not, and they appealed to home or first base umpire Eric Gaucher, who said, nope, that was not a swing. So it's 3 balls and no strikes to Colin Birch, with 1 out and a runner at third here in the top of the 9th. And that one's going to stay high as well, ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk, and that'll put runners on the corners. And we're back to the order and the very dangerous Matt Higgins, who's had a quiet night so far. He's grounded out twice, struck out, and hit by a pitch. But as we said, we know what this guy can do. The all-time home run leader for this Bellarmine club, single season record, is he's hit 19 on the season, 54 RBI. So he is a formidable man at the plate. And runners first and third here with 1 out. Cantola's going to miss downstairs with that one, ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes to Matt Higgins, reigning ASUN Player of the Week. In addition to being a preseason ASUN All-Conference selection, and he has certainly done nothing to diminish that with the numbers he's had. That's hit high in the air to the left side. Long run over there for Skipper, and he is going to catch it up against the wall. Terrific catch by Skipper. That's going to allow a run to score, but what a play by Hayden Skipper. My goodness, he ran a long way to catch that ball, caught it just before colliding against the wall out by the bullpen. And even though a run will score on what will turn out to be a sacrifice fly, that was a terrific play. At this point, the Bisons will gladly take that out. And so Ackerman will come home. He'll score the 4th run of the night for the Knights, and also tagging at first was Brett. He'll go to second, but that means 2 outs, and it's up to Ashton Smith to extend the game. And Smith has grounded out twice, singled, and struck out, 1 for 4 on the night, batting .370 on the season. Cantola starts him with a fastball that he hits back to the mound. Cantola will field it. It'll stop and flip to first base, and that will do it. So Caleb Cantola comes in and has a nice inning. The Knights do pick up 1 run on 1 hit. They strand a runner. That's 7 that they stranded on the night. But the Bisons can wrap this one in purple and gold. Your final score, 17-4, as Lipscomb takes game 1 of this 3-game series. So the final line score for today's game, the Bisons have 17 runs on 18 hits. They commit 1 error. For their Bellarmine, 4 runs on 6 hits. They commit 3 errors. Your winning pitcher is going to be Michael Dunkelberger, who started for the Bisons, and he'll take his record to 7-2 on the season. The losing pitcher is going to be the starter Drew Burr. He'll fall to 0-4. Time of the game is 3 hours and 53 minutes. We'll remind you, fans, that the next action for Lipscomb will be tomorrow, which is May the 7th, when the Bisons will once again take on Bellarmine. That will be a 6 p.m. Central Time first pitch. We'll be on the air at about 5:55 p.m. Central Time here on our broadcast on YouTube Live. We'll give you a quick recap of this one. The Bisons jumped out early. They scored in the bottom of the first, a single from Caleb Ketchup, an RBI sacrifice fly off the bat of Mason Lundgren. Bisons went back to work in the 3rd inning, big inning where they had a double from Chaz Bertolani, a walk to Caleb Ketchup, a sacrifice bunt, and a 3-run home run from Malik Williams. That was followed up by a solo blast from Rudy Maxwell, and the Bisons had staked themselves to a 5-0 lead at that point. Bisons tacked on 4 more in the 4th inning. In that inning, they got a solo home run from Ethan Stamps, another single from Bertolani, a double off the bat of Ketchup with an RBI, a walk to Houghton, and then an RBI base hit from Malik Williams. And again, the Bisons at that point had stretched their lead to 9-0. 4 more runs again in the 5th inning. This time it was started by John Shields with a single, a walk to Caleb Ketchup, a Maddox Houghton base hit with a couple RBIs, another base hit off the bat of Mason Lundgren, RBI base hits then from Malik Williams and from Rudy Maxwell. And at that point, the Bisons had opened up a big 13-0 lead. The Knights did come back and tack 3 on in the 6th inning. That was courtesy of the 3-run home run off the bat of Davis Crane. Bisons answered with 2 more in the bottom of the 6th inning as, again, a couple of bases on balls, followed by a sacrifice fly from Maddox Houghton and an RBI single from Mason Lundgren. And the Bisons added single runs in the 7th and the 8th inning. The one in the 7th inning was an RBI off the bat of John Shields, and then a solo home run from Caleb Ketchup in the 8th inning to finish the scoring for the Bisons. Bellarmine would tack on a run in the 9th, courtesy of a infield base hit, a ground out, a walk, and a sacrifice fly off the bat of Matt Higgins. So Bisons win at 17-4. Same two teams back tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time start. Our special thanks to Lipscomb Athletic Director Philip Hutchison, to the Associate Athletic Director for External Relations Brent McMillan, the Assistant Athletic Director for Communications Kirk Downs, and the Assistant Director for Athletic Communications Hannah Jo Riley. As always, we thank our producer Erica Plunkett. On behalf of our entire crew, this is Doc Allen saying thanks for your time this time, and until next time, so long. You've been watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live.